found a way around this, and in 2020, Monopoly improved upon it with an easier method. You start by shooting your teammates until just before they turn and aggro to you. You then push a Marine into the corner of the tram, and as he rides away, you follow him. By spamming melee, he'll become an enemy and you can cling to him as the tram passes through the door. Once the barrier disappears, you're free to move forward through the rest of the level. This saves 45 seconds as you don't have to play the start of Cairo, but it comes with a catch. Your teammates will try to kill you for the remainder of the level. This isn't too problematic on easy mode, but on legendary, your teammates kill you fast. So, despite being discovered years earlier, it wasn't used in full game runs. Until Zoo came along. He had a lot of runs die early, but he had a 45-second advantage by going for it. So, in short, all three of these runners had a chance to get the record. Let the competition begin. Well, in May 2022, Zoo struck first, getting a 124.29. With just one personal best, he had nearly accomplished his goal of beating Cryphon. The run wasn't on record pace for too long, but this was still a remarkable time. Zoo was starting to make a name for himself in Halo 2.
At this point, when I had the 124, I wasn't really looking to get record at the time. My main goal at that point was just to bop Cryphon, like a student becomes a teacher type of thing.
When he ended up getting...
Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I was muted this whole time. Oops, sorry about that. Anyway, I said that, yeah, I got a haircut about a month and a half ago. If you go to my second or third live stream of Super Paper Mario, that's when I got it. And I was also saying that I'm going to get Ho-Oh, and then I'm going to later catch Lugia for the red fight.
Despite taking a break to play more Halo 3, where he set that
Ho-Oh is in Ekritique, I believe.
To Halo 2. And on May 20th,
yeah, we want Amphylos up front so we can paralyze and stuff.
He pulled further and further ahead. After quarantine,
does this count as a counter? I think this area actually counts as an encounter, because I haven't gotten here yet. So yeah, this counts as an encounter, I'm pretty sure.
Like Gravemind is like the main run killer, you know, like everyone just fears Gravemind. I had like a 920 Gravemind, which is pretty good for a full game legendary run. So after I finished that, I was getting nervous. I was kind of getting shaky. This run actually had a shot to
I missed my
record.
Exit.
When they got to the last level,
missed my exit.
It was exciting. Like at least as a
rare candy, nice.
Game, like your heart
made it worth it.
Up there with them,
I think.
You know just how much pressure they have.
I don't think
and just how much
that
But unfortunately, he couldn't lock it down this time.
Wait, no, this is where I came from, isn't it?
22:37, just 17 seconds behind the world.
No, it's right here.
You know, I missed record.
Go this way, I'm pretty sure.
17 seconds at the time, but I was really excited to get.
We go down this way, right?
Close to
no.
record.
Oh, I thought this were. I could have swore this. Is it up here?
To kind of keep
no.
So,
it's a dead end.
Continued onward. He didn't play for a few weeks thanks to Moist Critical's Deathless Lasso challenge, but afterwards
we go down here.
And on August 7th, he was on another
No. I'm going backwards, aren't I? Dude, I don't care how many freaking times I played through this game, I always get lost in here. Thankfully, it's not that complicated, but I always get lost every time without fail.
Quarantine zone did not.
Okay,
and an untimely death.
I just went in a giant circle.
In the coffin.
Great. We go. I guess I don't know.
As a long-time Halo 2 runner, that's like classic.
Ultra Ball's nice. Oh, actually, yeah. Are we good on balls?
You will lose.
Yeah, we should be.
Run, or at least a majority of them, to quarantine.
No, this. Dude, where do I go? I've gone like everywhere. Where in the world do I freaking go?
Missed. He was starting to let it slip away.
We go this way?
And right on cue, Cryphon and Sinister started to.
I'm so confused. Do I go to here?
Just 3 days apart.
No, this is. I literally just went completely backwards. Never mind. I guess the way that I thought was backwards actually was the right way.
What it takes, I guess, you know.
Oops.
And I might have a shot at it.
I was still like kind of motivated to grind it, but yeah, I was like losing hope a little bit.
Now I could have swore
with nothing from
that we go down
But finally,
to the bottom left,
he was
but
able
that
to get on
doesn't
to
seem
the
to
third
work for some
gondola.
reason.
He started with
Like, I could have swore that's what we
then
do.
kept it close over the following levels. Oracle and Regret were both
Alright, there's
solid.
not,
He ended up with a gold split on Sacred Icon.
there's not any point here we haven't caught already, so I'm just gonna...
He was getting into Gravemind at a pretty good time, actually. You
I already
you
did-
look
I already
at it
went
and
down
says,
there.
Here it comes as soon as the Gravemind.
Is this where we go?
happens.
Oh my god, how did I go backwards again? Dude, I've been lost in this place before. I've never been lost for this long.
But he followed
Why
up
can I not figure this out?
4 really good splits.
We go this way, right?
Zoo wound
We
up
go
being ahead
up here, right?
into Great Journey,
And then we go down here.
where he had even more time to save.
Seeing how far ahead he was of the record, actually entering it, and how much
And I go
time he
here.
had to play with.
There we go. Oh my gosh.
I'm
That took me way longer than it
right
should have.
here is, you've done this a million times before, just hold it down. You have time to lose, do not full tilt if Great Journey trolls you. All you need to do is hang on, and you got this.
I don't think I go that way. Oh, I can, I guess so. But okay, here is the ho-oh counter. Okay.
It wasn't the best, it wasn't the cleanest, but it was good enough
Save.
to pull out the record.
All right.
Did I do it? Oh my god, let's go.
I guess this is our best option here. Is Amphros paralysis banana guy. All right.
More so than anything, finally getting the record, I was just...
Oh, it's only level 40. I thought it was level 50.
Finally broken
Oh.
through the barrier.
Oops.
Finally taken his first record, and the sky's the limit at this point. You know.
Oh,
All
forget you had to
has
recover.
do now is go wherever he wants to.
Zoo had the record, but he admitted in the description that he didn't expect to hang on to it for long. Rocats was still around, and Kryphon and Sinister
gotta
weren't far
switch
behind.
out. Yeah.
So, despite having accomplished his goal, he continued to do runs. And to shake things up a bit, he decided to start going for a new, incredibly risky strategy in Regret: the gondola launch. You start by getting on
I think
the
he.
first
Okay, no.
gondola
Now he
to
has to be
start
out of Sacred
Regret.
Fires.
While on it, you can deload the Phantom by repeatedly meleeing. This delays the checkpoint.
Oh, King K. Rool's
which in
dead. We
turn
can't go up to him.
delays the Phantom when it reaches the middle platform. As a byproduct of all this, a timer starts on the second gondola, and when it runs out, it'll travel back to the start.
Arching forever.
Once you get to the middle platform, you push the button and finish killing the enemies. This acts
Of
as a
course.
trigger to send the second gondola forward. So the second gondola now has 2 commands, one to send it back and one to send it forward. And if these commands overlap within a roughly 1 second window, the game doesn't know what to do. So it deloads the gondola entirely. And the strange result of this, if you're standing on the gondola, you'll get launched through the air. Nails figured out how to do this back in 2018, but for years it was considered too risky to do in legendary runs. You save a good 30 to 40 seconds by not having to wait to do the sword fly, but missing it costs nearly 2 minutes.
We're getting on the red, no fuck.
Risky as it was,
We need to get on the
Zoo
red.
decided it was time to try
If I can.
implementing it in his runs. It would undoubtedly cause
Okay,
more
good.
runs to die at Regret, but the 40-second time was too good to pass up. It could lead to some crazy paces. Well, on September 26th, Zoo got on a run with the gondola launch. It pushed him over a minute ahead of the world record. This was a fantastic opportunity, but it got even more serious when he got a gold split on Gravemind, the fastest he had ever done it in a run. With
Well,
just 3 levels to go, he was
I thought we were good on
2
Pokeballs, I guess
ahead
not.
of the record. This was a chance for a sub 120, a time that seemed unthinkable to Zoo just weeks ago. All he needed.
I feel like I've
was
gotten really bad luck,
3
though, to be
more
fair.
levels. He just had to close it out. And well,
Not like he isn't statused
here's
or
how it
anything.
went. In High Charity, he tried to lure the Flood over so he could do High Charity skip, but failed and had to revert. He succeeded on the second try, but accidentally pushed him
Oh,
off the
only 2 more
ledge.
chances. Here we go.
These time losses hurt,
And
yet he still
well, we got
succeeded.
1 more chance technically.
But Great Journey was even worse. He died
And
3 times. including
Well,
twice while
guess we're not
trying
using
to
Ho-Oh. I literally
He
used
still
like
finished the run
40
off the
balls,
world
but
record,
he just didn't want to catch
nowhere
Peacock for some
near
reason.
what it could have been.
Oh well.
Starting to become a
Okay, we need to go to
he was
Olivine.
Paces late into runs, and things went wrong in the final couple levels.
Can I save? I did, but it's a hardcore Nuzlocke. If I don't catch it, I just don't catch it. Like, there's not really much I can do about it.
Sub 120 was now the ultimate goal for Halo 2. Zoo had been on pace for it. Now, he just needed a clean.
Anyway, we gotta release Gyarados or for Alligator because he died in the
middle levels.
Yeah. Okay, so we gotta deposit all of our Pokemon actually, because the level cap, the lowest level cap in the lowest level cap in Kanto is level 39. So let's take out Rhyhorn. Sand Slash would be good because we're gonna be taking on a ground type or a poison type. Actually, let's get Slowpoke out. Okay, let's pause the rest of our mons. Okay, we need a Flymon preferably. I think Fearow should be the right level, right? Yeah, Fearow's only level 34. Yeah, we can take out Fearow. Okay, hold on. Who do we have so far? So we got Rhyhorn, Sand Slash, Slowbro. Well, will be a Slowbro. Fearow. Okay, we need 2 more mons. We're taking on a poison type trainer. Keep that in mind. I honestly could take Unknown. He's got ground type hidden power if I remember correctly. And I could also take Jigglypuff maybe? Because I do have the Moonstone. Or I could take Venomoth. Ah, but Venomoth's 1 level too high. Maybe I'll use it for the other gyms, but I guess I could take Tentacruel. Works. Alright, well we got a team. It's a little scuffed, but we got a team, so.
So right off the bat, I was like motivated to keep going. Got it.
Anyway, we're gonna grind a little bit for obvious reasons. Experience share.
He built up this big time pool into Gravemind.
Okay, let's go up to honestly, I think Coin's fine. I guess we'll see. I don't know. We are quad weak to water, but we are really high leveled, so it's like I think we'll be fine.
And you're just hoping.
Never. Wow, we get outsped by a level 20 Tentacool. That's really sad.
Getting nervous again. I was letting the nerves starting to get to me.
12 levels into the run. Zoo
Yeah, I don't think you're worth it having up front.
3-second lead. Just great journey stood between him and a 119.
Anyway, we gotta make sure our Pokemon don't pass level 39.
At this point, when he entered Great Journey that far ahead, I was super nervous for him. He can either get his goal, he can be happy, or it's going to be the most heartbreaking run of his life. Having done some of those runs myself, I know it's not over until the final cutscene plays on Great Journey, and
I'm probably gonna go grind in
how this run played out.
Victory Road actually. Yeah, let's go grind in Victory Road. Better.
Your heart sinks, and it's just tragic to watch.
Despite the deaths, the run still finished as a world record. Zoo had missed the sub 120 by just 14 seconds.
Like, can I just get it already? Can I stop choking the last mission and just clutch it out?
The good news was
Can't believe that doesn't one-shot.
Had 50 seconds to save in the final level. So once again, if he could just get there on a reasonable pace, he could save a bunch of time and get the record.
Dude, can you stop confusing me every single freaking chance that you get, dude? Gosh.
Like having a 58-25 split out of QZ, quarantine zone, like people consider like a sub 1 hour out of QZ to be very good. I remember having like a 58-25, like this run's pretty nuts right now. This one could be it. It could be the one.
As long as he can stay close to his PB, he knows he's got a ton of time to save in Great Journey, almost a minute in fact. And this run was shaping up just for that.
I was 10 seconds behind going into Great Journey, but I had a minute of time saved. There's so much time to save. This run should definitely be it. On top of that, I was streaming, so I was like excited to get the sub 120 in front of everyone watching.
Ah! That was my fault. That was 100% my fault. I have nobody to blame but myself for that one. Literally nobody to blame but myself. That was just pure greed. Crap, man, that sucks.
In the final boss, there's some reinforcement waves that happen.
I'm gonna have to find a whole another new one to grind up.
Health threshold. Now, normally, they don't really matter, and you can get the final boss dead with the Johnson glitch.
Crap.
So once you kill the final boss,
yeah, I guess we'll do Wigglytuff then.
Before the level actually ends, and during that time, all the enemies, and all your teammates, like they're still active, they're still fighting out there.
On Jigglypuff is level 31. Let me see if it gets any other moves that are worth it before I evolve it. Gets body slam at level 34. I don't care about double edge. So yeah, I want to keep it there till level 34. But no, we don't want to evolve it yet.
Killed him. There was a brute right behind me. He punches me. I start freaking out. Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to save it. So
I might have to. Actually, you know what? I might get to go go back and train off of the tentacle and stuff. I think we're too.
Yeah, there's so many emotions. Like I was angry.
I'm kind of trapped here, actually.
Embarrassed because this just happened on stream.
Like legit, I'm kind of trapped here.
Tartarus was dead. All I had to do was wait 10 seconds, and then the run was finished.
It's heartbreaking to watch that happen, especially.
Dude, okay, yeah, I have to get out of here. There's no way I can grind here. Like it's just not happening, bro.
Hey, you've done this once, you can do it again. You're in a league of your own.
Oh man, I really regret this because this is gonna take forever. No, this is the wrong way. What do I do?
This is going to come with time.
Zoo's motivation hadn't dried up. He knew the sub 120 was within reach.
And this really sucks that I lost for Alligator too, because I used my return TM on him.
He'd have his next good chance.
So waste. Okay, this is taking way too freaking long. And the worst part is I can't even use a repel either because I'm lower level than all these ones. Well, most of them anyway. Some of them. I don't know.
Pretty standard.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I ended up being ahead by quite a bit. And then Regret came. Regret. Everything.
But yeah, I think I gotta go all the way back. Oh, actually, I could maybe grind here. This doesn't look like the worst place to grind. Or I know it's not the worst place to grind. I've done it, so.
For Halo 2 Legendary.
When I saw those splits, a run that was this fast.
Okay.
With time to save on Great Journey.
I might have lied on accident.
This was shaping up to.
Yeah, I lied on accident. I'm gonna freaking die, dude.
I do high charity skip. I remember specifically I practiced high charity skip.
No, I lied. This is not a good place to grind either.
I ended up getting a gold split.
Oh my gosh.
Everything was aligning. Zoo had only died 7 times, none of which were particularly costly. It all amounted.
I would have probably been fine if Tentacle didn't freaking die, but I sucked. And I don't have survival. Well, I do, but I don't have.
Pressure was on.
My mindset with this run, like, as if I'm ahead at all going into Great Journey, then like I have this in the bag. I should have this in the bag.
When he got to Great Journey, I'm without a doubt certain that he was incredibly nervous.
Okay.
As I progressed, everything.
I want to go to Olivine.
To go my way completely.
Or Sandwood, I meant.
Okay, so the end fight.
Okay.
The Johnsons were like in some sort of conga line. The Johnson behind the first one wouldn't shoot at Tartarus because it would mean, you know, he was shooting his own teammate. So he just didn't shoot at all. So that kind of prolonged the fight. Like it was taking a while for Tartarus to die. So that gave the brute reinforcements, giving the brute reinforcements time to get on the platform and kill me. But that didn't happen.
It's so good. Like there's, you know, mistakes here and there, but Halo 2 Legendary, you don't get a run that's going to be perfect. This had so few deaths, so few mistakes, so little trolls by RNG, that the time is just incredible.
I felt this was like one of the only times where I felt happy with the PB, you know? Like I felt satisfied, like this is actually a good run. So I was happy, like happy for the first time with the PB with the run. It was such a good run. I finally considered a run to be good.
To this day, Zoo's 119 remains on top of the leaderboard. There's been a recent push to break the record, thanks to a $3,000 bounty placed by Eki. In the first few months of 2023, Kryphin, Sinister, and Nails have all improved their times. But Zoo's world record still stands above them. 5 years ago, world record runs used to not be saved. The game was an afterthought compared to Halo 2 Classic. Now, Halo 2 Anniversary has a thriving community, with a world record that reflects that.
I almost just lost Jigglypuff for the stupidest reason. Gotta be more careful when grinding.
Competition will drive it far lower in the years to come. This has been the history of Halo 2 world records. Thanks for watching.
You're welcome.
Please don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed, since that really helps me out. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
This is Abney317. He's speedrunning Mario Kart 64. Specifically, the game.
Alright, let's see if you can take it on by themselves. You got confusion zone.
Involves racing through all 16 tracks as fast as possible.
It's not great, but
perform any of the game's numerous shortcuts.
you can
Abney has
technically
been
deal with them on
dominating
your own.
this category for years. He got the world record in February 2015, and now 5.5 years later, he's
It'd be
still
prefer if we could
never
one-shot,
given
but
up. But it's not
it's
just
fine.
that Abney holds the record.
Alright,
Here, this is the leaderboard. We see sometimes in the 28s
let's put
and high
Jigglypuff back up.
27s. And unsurprisingly, ahead of them all is Matthias Rustemeyer with a remarkable 2706. And then there's Abney, making a joke of the competition. This was how the category had been for the better part of a decade. And a big reason why is because during that time, hardly anything new had been found. Mario Kart 64.
Alright, well now we can evolve Wigglytuff, or Jigglypuff.
Many of which had been discovered literal decades ago. There'd been a few minor improvements, but by 2020, there'd been nothing substantial for years. Sure, every now and then a random internet user would claim to have found something, but there was always some issue. It didn't actually save time, or had been found already, or was flat out fake. So, with no improvements, Abney was able to dominate. Nobody could catch up to him without new strategies. And this brings us to August 2nd, 2020. Abney was doing attempts to improve his own world record, when suddenly, he gets a message from somebody new, claiming to have made a large discovery.
Can you send me a video about a large discovery? Post it on Discord? I don't know.
This had happened before. Just another random viewer trying to get the streamer's attention.
I gotta see what this guy's large discovery is.
But still, he had to take a look, just so he could rule it out and get back to his attempts.
This is actually... Holy cow. This is... an actual new shortcut. What?
Abney didn't know it yet, but this discovery was the first of several. And his world record, it was about to become very vulnerable. This is his quest to hang on to it.
Oh, wow. What a jerkhole.
But first, I want to tell you about this video's sponsor, Opera GX. Opera GX is basically the speedrunner's version of a web browser.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's no way I'm going to be able to run away, is there?
History. Does your computer ever lag because Chrome or Firefox is using too much memory? Well, you can perform a trick called lag skip. By using GX control in Opera GX,
Oh, wow.
you'll reduce slowdowns and save precious time. But what about having
Immediately
to import all
poisoned,
your
of course.
settings and bookmarks from your previous web browser? Well, Opera GX found a skip for that too. By utilizing their quick import tool, you skip
I don't know when
wasted time
Slowbro
and
evolves. I
instantly
think
have
it's
everything transferred over.
or Slowpoke evolves. I think it's
They
37.
also got GX mods, where you can quickly modify background music, keyboard and
Oh,
tab
you
buttons,
freaking suck!
visuals,
I can I seriously just go like 5 seconds without getting poisoned, please?
Then there's GX Corner, where you can stay up to date on gaming releases and uploads from your favorite YouTubers. See their 12 latest videos only by using my dedicated tracking link. If you want the fastest and best browsing experience, download Opera GX using my link in the description and pinned comment. Abney's mind was blown. His chat was losing their minds. And it all stemmed from Forest64, a viewer who had never posted.
Dude, this freaking RNG is, bruh.
This is what was on the video.
Bro.
Forest sent to Abney.
This might be the worst RNG I've ever seen in my entire life. Look at this.
The 11th.
I cannot land on my
Forest immediately turned around
town worth the life of me, bro. Oh, no, I get it, and then I freaking screwed up. There we go. Oh my gosh.
He then drove back across the finish line.
Okay, you're still not ready. Just wait till you evolve, I guess.
Precisely drove into it and was launched on top of the wall. Lakitu set him down behind the finish line, and the game counted it as a lap. Forest repeated this twice, skipped 2 more laps, and just like that, one of the game's longest courses was finished in just 1 minute. Royal Raceway did have shortcuts before this, but they were relatively minor. You typically finish in about 1:40. So as soon as Abney saw this video, he knew the run was changing forever. Perhaps even more curious than the shortcut itself was the guy who discovered it. He was simply known as Forest64.
Yeah, some random dude in the chat just found it.
In the past, when shortcuts were found, it was usually by an established expert, either a tool-assisted speedrunner or a player with thousands of hours in the game. But Forest? Nobody in the community had heard of him before. Well, Forest first played the game in 2017, but didn't submit his runs since he played on Wii U Virtual Console, which was banned. He began testing the game for fun and became an expert on how the game's shortcuts worked. He was
well, now that Slowbro's evolved,
background and not interacting with the community. But
can give the experience share to someone else.
Raceway shortcut and felt compelled to
Let's give it to
so he did.
unknown.
The workings of this shortcut are quite complicated, but here's a rundown of it. By driving over certain regions away from the main track, like this part of the grass, the game sees that you've skipped over a decent portion of the track, and it responds by storing your current position in memory. If you then land on specific polygons, like the top of the wall, the game takes the position stored in its memory to determine where you are. So, Lakitu sets you down near the grass where your position was stored, the game thinks you've driven a full lap, and you can drive forward to complete it. This was a miracle. Look, random people claim things all the time on the internet, especially when it comes to speedrunning. But this random guy, Forest64, had actually found something. It was incredible, and Mario Kart 64 would probably never see something like this again, if it didn't happen again the very next day. On August 3rd, 2020, someone else sent a private message. It was another guy that nobody in the community had heard of before. And once again, he was claiming that he'd found a new shortcut. And guess what? He was absolutely right. Rainbow Road. Just like the last shortcut, you turn around at the start and go grab red shells. You then drive forward and stop next to the finish line. By firing a red shell behind you, then driving into it, you tumble over the edge in front of the finish line. After you fall for a while and stop tumbling, the game actually lets you back up in midair, and you can cross back behind the finish line. So, when Lakitu brings you back, you're behind the finish line, and the game gives you credit for having driven a full lap. The guy who discovered this one is named Garrett Graysel. He apparently found it one day back in the 90s, when he knocked his friend over the edge with a red shell and the game gave him credit for a lap. He assumed the community knew about it and never brought it up. But when he saw a speedrun where players did a slower skip with a green shell, he decided he should mention it to someone. And he was right. His red shell skip was faster by a solid 30 seconds. It had been decades since an outsider had found a new shortcut. Now, by sheer coincidence, it had happened twice in 2 days by 2 separate people. But while Garrett's shortcut was a one-off thing, Forrest was still looking for more. And over the next few days, he'd come up with yet another one, this time on Toad's Turnpike. The setup is a little too complicated to explain here, but it involves a lot of getting stuck in the railing and driving over the grass next to the track. The end result is being able to hop into the railing next to the finish line and skipping a lap each time. 45 seconds on Royal Raceway, 30 seconds on Rainbow Road, and now 55 seconds on Toad's Turnpike. In the span of a week,
Dude,
more than 2
can I seriously just not get
minutes
poisoned, like, for real?
Abney was still way ahead of the pack, but if he didn't take advantage of this, there was potential for these guys to catch him. So, Abney got to work. Despite the massive potential for time save, this still wasn't going to be easy. The Royal Raceway skip was extremely tough. You had to time your collision perfectly, or you weren't making it.
Of course I can't run.
Still, the world record started to pour in. 25.
Freaking poison is so annoying, dude.
25.
On September 7th, Abney had his best chance yet, a potential mid-24 minute run, with 3 courses left. But standing in his way was Yoshi Valley. If you get a speed item like a mushroom or star, you can jump over the fence and hit a seam on the wall. This causes you to skip a lap upon being placed back down. Optimally, you want to get triple mushrooms, so you can do this 3 times, once per lap. But triple mushrooms is at best 25% likely. So, a decent backup is to drive around the rightmost path and hit this seam, which both skips a lap and moves you forward a bit upon respawning. It's slower than getting triple shrooms, but it still allows you to continue the run in most cases. So, Abney tried to get triple shrooms, but didn't get them. No big deal, he just had to hit the backup shortcut. But then...
Nah, dude, I wimped out. I'm losing. Nah, dude, runs over. Classic DK. Shouldn't have done it, dude.
DK strikes again. Despite the 3 new shortcuts, there were still so many other courses that could kill the run. They hadn't gone anywhere.
Oh my god.
And besides that, to capitalize on the time saves in Royal Raceway and Rainbow Road, Abney had to get lucky with items. He needed triple reds, which is only 20% likely. You can sit on an item box repeatedly to get items, but it can waste a lot of time, especially if you get a star or gold mushroom. At the end of September, Abney would get another...
What level does Rhyhorn evolve?
He had a solid run going, but then on Royal Raceway, he managed to get 6 red shells.
42.
Some insurance just in case he missed the jump. But he ended up going 3 for 3, getting a half-minute time save.
Nice. Let's go, dude. Oh my god, I'm saving a ton of time. Here we go.
The next few courses were pretty standard, although falling in the water on Banshee Boardwalk cost a few seconds. And so, he entered Rainbow Road with a sizable lead. He needed to get red shells quickly and avoid big time wasters like a star or gold shroom.
Nice. Well, I pretty much have to get reds next item or it's kind of dead.
wasn't quick, but he had the reds. No insurance this time. Now, he needed 3 hits in a row.
Oh my god. Crazy. 2509.
This was the biggest cut off the record since 2017, and despite having obvious slowdowns, it felt good to make progress. Looking at the leaderboard, there was still no real threat to Abney. Climate had moved into second place, but he was over a minute and 40 seconds behind. So, Abney decided to take a break, resting assured that his world record was safe. Or was it? There was now a little bit of competition. Neither runner was that close to the record, but they were closer than anybody had been in years. In third place was Samek, just over a minute away. He'd had a pretty quick rise up the leaderboard in late 2020, and his 2614 featured all 3 new shortcuts. His biggest downfall was the fact that he had less experience than Abney, so his driving was less precise and he bled time across the run. And in second place was Kazuya. His rise was a little more slow and steady, but it ultimately led to him being the second to get a sub 26 minute run. He could also drive a little bit quicker than Samek, but it was still a disadvantage compared to Abney. Kazuya and Samek were mainly in a battle with each other for second place, but they were close enough to make Abney return to the game, knowing there was still plenty of time to save. And on his first session back, Abney got on this run.
One of my best joggers ever, maybe. Oh my god. Oh dang, is this 24? Yo. No way. 24:58.
This was the first minute barrier broken in nearly 4 years, and it was all possible thanks to the 3 new shortcuts. Rainbow Road and Royal Raceway were nearly perfect, and Toad's Turnpike saved a bunch of time too. This gave Abney some breathing room over his competitors, but he knew there was still work to do. Take Mario Raceway, for instance. This is another course where you want to get triple red shells, so you can launch yourself over the wall on each lap. But in this run, it took Abney over half a minute until he could finally get them. So, Abney knew he had to keep going. He had just cracked into the 24s. Now, he was going to see how low he could take it. About a week later, Abney got on a run with a perfect Toad's Turnpike, thrusting him into the lead. He bled a bit from missing jumps on Choco Mountain, but then it was time for Mario Raceway. Abney could save a big chunk of time here, as long as he could get red shells and avoid items like stars.
No. No. Why? Alright, reds. Oh my god.
Bro gets 2 level up moves. Ground level up moves, and they're both sand attack. So frick.
Despite disastrous luck, he still gained a tiny bit of time. The run continued to be up and down.
I think I actually solved the TM for Dig though. Yeah.
Oh my god.
With triple shrooms, Abney was able to enter Rainbow Road over half a minute ahead of the world record.
Alright, we're gonna call it there.
Just needed to get red shells.
Just because I don't want to get over leveled on accident.
Blue shells are interesting. You can do the shortcut just like you can with red shells, but you can't get 3 of them at a time.
I guess it's a good time to buy Pokeballs because I just freaking wasted all mine on the Ho-Oh.
Now he could only do the blue shell skip once. Then he had to go back and do the slower green shell skip twice. This was going to be close.
I don't have it.
Oh,
First sold every
it's too
game
late.
that I.
It's gotta be too late, yeah.
I can't buy balls here. Great.
No way.
Somehow he had pulled it off. Luck had tried to prevent it, but Abney forced his way into a world record. And as impressive as it was, this run would be totally irrelevant by the next day.
Awesome. Perfect special cup. 24-19. Oh man. That is a nice record.
This was the world record Abney had been looking for. He nailed the new strategies, and while there were some small time losses, there were no glaring ones like we'd seen in past runs. Abney was back to being more than a minute and a half ahead of second place. There was no longer any threat to his world record.
Oh, right.
But that didn't mean he wanted to stop playing. He was on a roll. All these improvements came in the span of just 1 week. And while the world record was solid, there were still time saves to be made. So, Abney pushed onward. And a few days later, he had a run that got off to the best pace of his life.
This run's crazy. Oh man.
This was mostly thanks to Calamari Desert. This course features 2 major shortcuts. The first is actually an intentional one from the developers. Kind of. If you drive most of a lap normally, then go into the tunnel and activate a star, the game extends the finish line into the tunnel and counts a lap. It was meant to be an Easter egg, but speedrunners found a way to abuse it. You can drive into the tunnel from the opposite side at the start of a lap, then turn around and activate the star. It counts as a lap completion in a fraction of the time. The other shortcut also involves driving into the tunnel. You take either red shells or a blue shell and knock yourself over the fence, skipping most of the lap. Now, both of these shortcuts save big time, and ideally you want to do both. That means getting red shells, then grabbing a second item and having it be a star. But getting triple reds is 20% likely, and a star is 30%. So you've only got a 6% chance of getting the magic combination. But when you do get it right away, it saves big time. So, Abney kept playing this incredible run, and after quick triple reds on Mario Raceway, he had a nearly 40-second lead. But then he entered Royal Raceway, once again needing triple red shells.
Nope. Let's go. Dude, I always miss that first. It went way left. Maybe a 2 out of 3. I can keep this run going. Nope. Yeah, this is over.
In addition to needing a lot of luck, the Royal Raceway skip is one of the hardest in the game. Be it from not getting red shells or messing up the shortcut, most runs that make it to Royal Raceway die at Royal Raceway. Abney continued to do runs over the following weeks, but Royal Raceway was just being brutal. Run after run made it there on record pace, but they almost never made it through. He was struggling to get runs deep more than he had in months. Meanwhile, Samek and Kazuya saw an opportunity. While Abney was stalled and not setting any records, maybe this was their chance to improve.
No. So, fine.
No. Dude. No. Dude, why? Not even a chance. No! Dude, I got stuck on the side. Ah, stupid. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, I'm gonna lose this run to missing every one of these. Oh my god.
The gap had closed. There was just 24 seconds between Abney and Kazuya, with Samek not far behind. Kazuya had turned into a remarkably consistent player, and he was doing the impossible. He might have a shot at getting this world record.
Well, that was extraordinarily
Abney had no
awful
choice
luck.
but to keep trying. On March 18th, he built up another lead into Royal Raceway. Not as big as some previous runs, but still a comfortable advantage. Step 1. Acquire red shells.
Oh my god.
That was easy. Now, he had to hit them 3 out of 3. No margin for error.
Oh my god.
Oh,
It's about time.
Fleda.
It was officially on. Abney
Pretty
took a 36-second lead into the Special Cup. 4 courses separating him from a big world record.
Oh my god. This run's insane. $23.52. Oh my god.
The first run under 24 minutes, and it had a lot going for it. A strong opening, followed by 3 out of 3 on both Royal Raceway and Rainbow Road. Once again, Abney now had a big separation from second place. Despite a massive effort, Kazuya was back to being nearly a minute behind. Now, it was Samek's turn to make things interesting.
Nice. Let's go.
In April 2021, Samek made a major push to lower his personal best. He did thousands of attempts in the span of just weeks, and he quickly saw results. It all came to a head on May 13th, 2021. He had a standard run going out of Frapp Snowland, but after 3 out of 3 hill jumps on Choco Mountain, he took a big lead.
Nice. Another perfect Choco Mountain. Wow.
So, entering Royal Raceway, Samek had a great opportunity. As long as he could hit this...
Of course, he get poisoned.
Alright, another chance.
With nearly everything going his way, the only thing that could make this better would be getting triple shrooms on Yoshi Valley. He went into Rainbow Road, and although it took him a while to get red shells, he was still in position for a big PB. Just like that, Samek had swooped into second place. He suffered from slower driving compared to Abney and took a while to line up a few of the shortcuts. But this was still a really clean second place.
Oh, okay, good.
Now, they were still far away, but Abney now had 2 competitors that were closing in. It'd be helpful
No, if you're to accidentally get over leveled.
Separation. Well, there was one thing he could do. A few months ago, Forrest and another tasser named Weatherton had been looking into ways to go through walls. For a proper explanation on how wall clips work, check out this video from my arch-rival Bismuth. Most wall clips are extremely precise and aren't viable for a full game run. But one day, Forrest had an idea. If you have enough speed, you can clip into a wall and touch the surface behind it. On Luigi Raceway, this means you can start in front of the finish line, then clip into the wall and touch the other side of the track, which updates your section marker, and finally be ejected from the wall and land behind the finish line. This tricks the game into thinking you've driven a full lap without having really left the section right around the finish line. You need the speed from a mushroom to do this, so the best strategy was to grab an item.
Alright, we are ready for Koga, I guess. Or Janine, I guess. That's actually what I'm fighting.
This is still
all my monster 39, alright.
But it can save about 10 seconds over the old shortcut. That could be just what Abney needed to keep lowering his time. So, while he knew it meant a ton of attempts would die right away, Abney committed to going for it. Meanwhile, Kazuya got back to doing attempts as well. Difference was, he opted to not go for anything new on Luigi Raceway. It would lose him some time, but it did mean he could get more runs going. And with all the difficulties and randomness that comes later in the run, playing Luigi Raceway wasn't such a bad idea.
Cool.
Still, Abney had
I forgot to get Unknown up. Crap.
Kazuya. Was this finally the time he could put the record away for good?
This isn't good.
Let's
go up to Furo, I guess. Okay, Supersonic's not ideal, but it's fine. Don't hit yourself. I was hoping for the para, but it's fine.
God dang it, dude. How
Weezing's an interesting one.
It's over.
Let me look up if I can't see anything. There's like a million ads. Okay. Okay, so both of our Weezings do have explosion. Okay. We could fly and hope that they miss. Okay. Of course you got a first turn. Drill Peck. Aridos will go out to, I guess, Wigglytuff.
There was no denying it. Kazuya was closing.
There's another Weezing. Let's go.
Vanishing.
Go back out to Rhyhorn, I guess.
Danger of losing a record that he had held for more than 6 years.
Go for Tail Whip here, actually.
Improvement was remarkable. His driving had gotten faster, and his consistency with the shortcuts was approaching what Abney could do. And if he didn't act quickly, Kazuya was on a direct course to beat his world record. So, Abney acted as quickly as he could.
Nice! Janine defeated, no deaths.
Looking nice.
Love to see it.
Gotten the time save in Luigi Raceway, and a clean Toad's Turnpike.
Okay.
Much more. He missed just one hill jump on Choco Mountain, and
I'm
got
gonna
reds right away on Mario Raceway.
Alright.
Going into Royal
Awesome.
Raceway, this was the best pace
that was ideal.
ever been on.
Alright. The next gym leader we want to do is level 44. We want to do Brock next. Okay. But I don't have to worry about getting over leveled really.
So stupid, dude.
Abney was too close to the wall.
Give the experience share
The
to
red shell
doesn't really
had
matter
too much
honestly.
speed.
Let's just have Wigglytuff out front.
Had he been just
Anyway,
slightly
to
further
get
away,
to deal with
he could have hit this
to get to
3 out of
Pewter,
4.
we need to go
Instead, his best run ever was thrown
to
in
Lavender
the
Town and then through Rock
This
Tunnel.
was a tough pill to swallow, but he'd gotten there before. That meant he could get there again. And unbelievably, the very next day, Abney found himself in the same spot. A 30-second lead into Royal Raceway, good enough to once again be his best pace ever. This was a perfect chance for redemption. Just hold it together.
We want to talk to the guy in tower. I don't know if we need to, but we should. Alright.
Abney had been playing
Just in
this
case, you know.
category for 7 years. Those were the 2 fastest runs he'd ever had. Back-to-back days, both killed in the exact same spot. But like any good speedrunner, Abney knew he had to push onward. He'd had some really crazy paces lately. If he could just get back there and execute on Royal Raceway, he'd have the world record in the bag. But I don't think Abney was prepared for the type of run he'd have on September 28th,
Claws.
2021.
I'm gonna assume that a lot of these are gonna be Dupe's Claws. I think that's Dupe's Claws. I think I've caught a Cubone. Haven't I? I'm gonna assume that it's Dupe's Claws. I don't think we've caught a Cubone. Or I do think we have caught a Cubone, I mean. I don't know if there's any Pokemon in here that we haven't caught already, but I'll leave off their Pel just in case. You know, I don't think we have. Or I don't think we have caught a Cubone, so I forfeited my counter.
No triple mushrooms, but that was okay. Abney had a backup plan. He'd drive over to a spot on the grass, then use his star to do the shortcut once and the golden shroom to do it again. It would only cost him a few seconds. Everything was okay.
Oh, I'm lost. I'm lost. No, dude. Why did I... Shouldn't have even gone for it, dude. So dumb. When I go and look at my RNG calculations that I did, where it was like 1 in 900 chance of getting acceptable RNG, I got the RNG in this run. Alright, it's a run.
Just
Oh
one
crap, I
more
don't have
course,
Come on.
Rainbow Road. But the red shell skip had not gone well for him lately. Good news was, he had a 20-second buffer to work
That's
with.
fine.
If he could just get red shells and hit the trick, there was room for a big world record. But he needed to not miss.
I think I'll just cut to Sand Slash.
Finally.
He's not gonna be a permanent team member anyway, so.
Right when Kazuya was starting to close in, Abney added another 18 seconds of separation. Kazuya and Samek had both made a good effort, but at the end of the day, this was Abney's category. He was just flat out better at it than everyone else. The new strategies had made things interesting, but not enough to ever lose the record. Kazuya had given it all he could, but he was never able to close the gap. He was a good player, but simply couldn't keep up with Abney. And with this world record, the most optimized one the game had seen in years, it was hopeless. There was nothing to do but watch it sit at the top of the leaderboard. Whoa. Something amazing has happened to Kazuya. He's getting times that nobody saw coming. His driving is better, he's hitting the shortcuts consistently, and it all culminated in a 2340 from December 2021. It was an extremely similar run to what Abney got, getting red shells quickly everywhere and not missing a single one. Kazuya was now 11 seconds from the world record. He'd been playing this game non-stop for over a year, and it was starting to look like it might pay off big time. Was he the real deal? Well, he continued on a while longer without any improvements, but in February 2022, he got on another run that saved time early thanks to getting a blue shell star combo on Calamari Desert. He saved more time with a clean Toad's Turnpike, and suddenly, he had a 15-second lead over his run. If he could preserve this the rest of the way, this run was going to be the world record. But still standing in his way was Royal Raceway.
Standing in his Royal Raceway. Yeah, it's funny. Literally no one thought that was funny. Okay.
Like I said,
they had no idea which one it was going to do.
Extremely consistent with these shortcuts. 5 courses from a world record.
Oh, I don't have to fight you. I'm an idiot. Okay, I played it kind of risky there, but I'm gonna say I'm a risky guy.
There were now 2 seconds between Abney and Kazuya. Had he not missed a jump on DK Jungle Parkway, or had he gotten triple shrooms on Yoshi Valley, this run would have been the world record. And someone other than Abney would be in the top spot.
I don't think I need to talk to Bill. No, he's not even here.
Years. Naturally, Abney came back to do more runs, trying to play defense and hang on to his record. But he struggled to get anything going. This record had been synonymous with him for close to a decade now. It was hard to believe that it might be coming to an end. All Kazuya needed was a run that kept it close into the Special Cup, where he could save a bunch of time and beat the world record. A few weeks later, Kazuya got on a run with a really clean Choco Mountain. It took a while to get red shells on Mario Raceway, but he got through it. He bled a little bit of time on Royal Raceway.
I like to think that that guy's the Geodudes and a Graveler trainer.
The exact type of run he was looking for. A deficit that he could overcome in the Special Cup. So, Kazuya...
Okay, I'm not playing these games right now.
There it was. Kazuya had a 7-second lead into Rainbow Road. If he could get red shells, then hit the shortcut 3 times in a row, he was about to take the world record. 1 course to go. No red shells. Simple bad luck.
So we can go get our Snorlax encounter, but I'm not going. Actually, I have to get my Snorlax encounter. I was gonna say, but I'm not going to. because we're under leveled, but we need it. We need to do it to get to Brock. So we're gonna do it.
Was Kazuya going to be able to take the record?
I did about pugPls, right? Okay.
It all came down to who could lower their time.
Let's go out to.
Well, in April 2022, one of these players broke through.
Let's go to Hoyne. Yes. I don't remember how to do the poke flute. Wait. Wait, don't I need to go to don't I need to get it from the radio tower and I forgot because I'm an idiot? I do. Ah.
After more than 50,000 attempts, Kazuya was the 150cc skips world record holder. Congratulations poured in across the community. It was just surreal to see a new name on top of the leaderboard. Kazuya had cut it close. He didn't get triple shrooms on Yoshi Valley, and it took some time to get red shells on Rainbow Road. But he had left just enough room and eked out a 1-second world record. As for Abney, there was nothing to be ashamed of. Kazuya had turned into a tremendous player, and Abney had certainly left his mark on the community already. It's extremely rare to hang on to a world record for as long as he did. There was absolutely no shame in passing the torch to Kazuya and riding off into the sunset, leaving a streak of 29 consecutive world records as your legacy. He could finally put the thousands of hours spent on this category behind him and move on with his speedrunning career.
There we go. Okay.
But Abney said, forget all that, and 5 days later, he did this.
I don't know why I flew there. Oh, I don't know I flew there. I need to go to Vermilion. Oh! Go.
Yes.
That's fine, because I didn't want to do that anyway.
Crazy.
Well, that didn't take long. It had taken Kazuya over a year of grinding to edge out the world record. It took Abney 5 days to thoroughly beat him back. This was a pretty wild run from start to finish. It began with triple reds plus star on Calamari Desert, and he just kept gaining time from there. After nailing Royal Raceway 3 out of 3, Abney was in position for a
this isn't good. Please flinch or miss.
But then he kind of backed off.
This is actually really bad. I might lose him on here, for real. If I lose him on, it's going to be unknown. Sorry, unknown.
Triple shrooms on Yoshi Valley, he lost 8
it is what it is.
seconds by really lining up the jumps carefully. This run actually had the RNG for a sub 23-minute run.
Really hoping that you
by
stayed.
Playing it safe, Abney wound up with a 23-21.
Hey.
Still an excellent record, although it had the potential to be even better.
Yes, we caught it. Okay.
Look,
Worth losing Rhyhorn over.
Briefly lost the world record to Kazuya, but it was only by 1 second. He had still held the record for all but 5 days of the past 7 years. All concerns of his demise.
And we got the leftovers, which is nice. I should have brought Thief with me on the off chance I couldn't catch it, but it is what it is.
Kazuya had never been close to. It was time to go for the kill and push the record out of reach.
1, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I'm going to
Man.
Arnie, I freaking swear, dude.
I guess it
Wait, no, I lost unknown too. I'm an idiot. It's fine though.
Over. Dude.
Okay.
Dang it.
Yeah, level cap's 44. So we should get wheezing, I guess. That's fine. No. That's not fine. You're weak to ground. We need maybe Goldeen actually. Yeah, take Goldeen actually. Take Goldeen and
I was stuck.
Volley. Yeah, okay, that's fine, I guess.
No, I barely missed. Dang.
I give Surf, Goldeen. Wait, believe it or not, we actually get an encounter here.
Wow, dude.
You live, you... Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna live. I don't know why I did that.
Promising runs, something always went wrong to prevent a world record. On Yoshi Valley, he was trying to go for a risky strategy that would avoid triple shrooms, but his success rate wasn't great with it, and his Royal Raceway luck had just been disastrous. Meanwhile, Kazuya was still right there. He was 7 seconds behind Abney, but he'd gotten the record before. Could he take advantage of this opportunity?
Alright, now that we are in computer, we can fly back. We need to grind. But first, we're gonna talk to you, because you're the reason we can get a... Yeah. Now, let's go grind.
He had done it again.
There's no way I'm gonna be able to run from the
pretty
thing.
sizable improvement. He had a mistake early on Toad's Turnpike when he missed a lap skip and had to do it again.
Okay, what the frick, dude? Give me... There we go. Like, I know I can counter rock Pokemon. Give me rock Pokemon, bro.
On Yoshi Valley. But beyond that, it was a beautiful run, and Kazuya had just proven something. His 1 second world record wasn't a fluke. He had actually caught up to Abney. Despite slower driving, he had matched or perhaps surpassed him at hitting the game's shortcuts. Kazuya was the champion of 150cc skips. In the year since this record was set, nobody has come close to approaching their times. Abney and Kazuya are more than a minute ahead of the competition. Both players have been grinding the category recently and have done thousands of attempts each. They've both had promising runs, but there's only been one additional.
He hit 5 times, got 2 crits, and I still survived. Oh my gosh. I almost just lost Sober for the stupidest.
This run was eerily similar to Abney's 23-21. It got off to an incredible start, then slowly...
Yeah, watch me only encounter rock types now.
By playing it safe on a few courses.
How in the world do you not outspeed? I know it's a Golbat, and it's kind of fast, but like, bro. I'm 9 levels higher, dude.
It's hard to lose a world record.
I don't know.
It's a side of speedrunning that doesn't get talked about much. Everyone's excited when one player gets the record, as they should be, but to be on the other side can be brutal. Especially...
No, I don't want to cut. I want to see your moves.
It's become a constant part of your life at that point. But it's important to remember, nobody owns a world record. And to illustrate what I mean, I'm going to show you...
You don't get a
Darbian.
grass type move to level 44. We need to get you to the max level possible.
Back in 2016, people were telling him that the run was nearly dead, and he might hold on to the record forever. But Darbian responded by saying this.
So instead of saying something silly like I think it will be over very soon and it's been a crazy ride, I'm going to say that this game will never be over.
There's got to be a better
and
place
the
to
ride
grind
will only
than
get
here.
crazier. And I am just participating in one small part of the middle of the ride, and there are many talented people who helped build the ride before me, and there'll be many talented people who help finish off the ride after me.
You're gonna have to grind
More accurate
somewhere.
words have never been spoken.
Not in Victor.
The point of all this? Be proud.
Just
that
go
you
around and fight as
won,
many strangers as I can, I guess.
even after your times have been beaten. Because unlike a world record, your legacy can last forever. This has been just one small segment of Mario Kart 64's history. Thanks for watching. This video contains flashing lights that may affect viewers with photosensitive epilepsy. Viewer discretion is advised. It's February 9th, 2016. Somewhere on a live stream deep into the pages of Twitch, a player begins a run of Ninja Gaiden 2. But this isn't just any speedrunner. This is Jimmy Poopins, the world record holder for Ninja Gaiden 2. And the run he's about to perform is going to go down in speedrunning history. See, Jimmy is more than just the record holder. He is by far the most dominant runner this game has ever seen. In fact, at this point, he might be more dominant than any other NES speedrunner. For years, Ninja Gaiden 2's world record was in the 1020 to 1030 range. But when Jimmy came along in 2014, the world record started to plummet. And for the last year, he's been on a mission to lower it as much as possible. His current record...
Bro, you're not freaking... You are not the freaking one, dude. Like, you're not that guy.
His goal is a
Trust me, pal. You are not that guy.
This is barely on the outskirts of what's humanly possible. For anyone else, a 1009 is unthinkable. But for Jimmy, it's just within reach. It would be his ultimate...
I don't really want that anyway.
And as he opens up a 1 second...
It wasn't me being a snooty or anything, like a legit...
This run looks like it could have a chance. But after his fastest Act 4 ever, Jimmy is suddenly 2.5 seconds in the lead. And he keeps gaining time, in level after level, with time to save at the end. This is exactly the run Jimmy had been looking for. It's the best pace he's ever had, and the pressure is mounting. But he has to hold it together.
I already fight you? Is that everyone then? It's everyone over here.
An unreal world record. After being on the pace of his life, Jimmy had clutched out the ending and broken the 1010 barrier by several seconds. His massive lead had just become even bigger. But what was Jimmy's reaction to this record?
It's done. We killed it.
Jimmy felt that he had killed the game, that the world record was dead. Well, Jimmy's 1007 may have looked unbeatable, but in speedrunning, limits are rarely what they seem to be. And what unfolded over the next few years, nobody could have expected. This is the quest to beat Jimmy Poopins. And now, a word from this video's sponsor, Displate. Displates are really cool. They're metal posters
You're really cool.
that bounce on your wall magnetically in just 20 seconds. No power tools required. You can get gaming brands like Halo, Sonic, and Doom, as well as a variety of other genres you can pick from. Displates look great and are far more durable than a normal poster, since they're made from metal. They'll be shipped from Europe and arrive at your doorstep in 4 to 5 days. And if you click my link in the description, you'll get access to a special promotion. 27% off your first 1 to 2 posters, and 37% off if you buy 3 or more. But act soon. This deal is only available for the next 2 weeks. Check out
You just
the
said, "Do you
website and
remember?"
browse what they've got.
Bro, what are you talking
This
about, bro?
plate has a ton to pick from. If you're ready to level up your poster game, click the link in the description. Thanks again to Displate for sponsoring this video. Okay, now why was this run considered to be unbeatable? Well, here's one thing. The final time was 10:07. Jimmy's sum of best was 10:05. Over the entire speedrun, he only lost 2 seconds over his best 7 individual acts added up. In other words, 2 seconds off of a literal perfect speedrun. That is unreal optimization for a game of this length. So, given the strategies he went for, Jimmy had a nearly flawless run. But how difficult actually were these strategies? Well, they were extremely difficult. Ninja Gaiden 2 is a pretty accessible run for beginners, but it's a really challenging speedrun at the top level. Nearly every act has multiple tough tricks, and we could sit here going over them all. But instead, here are a few of the most brutal. Toward the end of 3-2, you're supposed to walk along the ground, then jump up and climb to move to the next screen. But if you instead hesitate, you can precisely time a jump off of a crescent projectile to land on the wall. Once there, you can repeatedly jump slash to make your way through the wall and hit the screen transition from the other side. This was found by Jorf, Ninja Gaiden 2's second place runner, and saves about a second. Jimmy nailed it in this run. 4-2 has a similar trick. You're supposed to walk on the ground and climb up the wall to continue. But if you do a precise jump off the edge, then jump slash just enough to enter the wall without falling through, you can make it across without having to drop down. This trick was discovered by Gus Mancini and Duckfist, and was one of the hardest in the run. Jimmy only had about a 30% success rate with it. But he went for it in this run, and once again, he nailed it. But the hardest trick in the entire run is on the Act 5 boss, the Ashtar Quick Kill. Several of the boss fights in Ninja Gaiden 2 have quick kills that can save a few seconds. Some of them can be quite tricky, but the Act 5 quick kill is leaps and bounds harder than the rest. There's a brief period where you can damage him before his projectiles come in, during which you cannot damage him. It's possible to just barely kill him before this happens, but your inputs need to be perfect. It involves precisely spacing out firewheel shots while canceling animations so you can shoot again quicker. For years, this trick was thought to be TAS only, but in late 2015, Jimmy was able to pull it off for the first time, and ever since then, because it saved 4.5 seconds, he knew that it was going to be an inevitable trick. Despite a consistency rate of roughly 1 in 4, with a lead of over 2.5 seconds, Jimmy knew he had to go for it in this run. And guess what?
He did.
He executed it perfectly. So now you can see why this was such an amazing record. But did he make any mistakes?
I actually don't see it at all. I'm blind.
He had one. Here it was. Jimmy was supposed to jump and slash to boost off the enemy, but he missed and had to go up the wall. It cost him 1 second. Beyond that, the only time losses were frames here and there from movement. This one mistake was all that Jimmy had to show for concrete time losses. That's why Jimmy's
Did I steal for no reason?
submissions said
I
game
think
is
I just
dead.
steal for no reason.
That's why his Twitch highlight of the run said, "World record, game is dead." And that's why, upon completion of the run, Jimmy said these words.
It's done. We killed it.
He was 16 seconds ahead of second place, and in full honesty, none of these guys had the skill to beat him. It was a reasonable assumption that, unless Jimmy wanted to play again, his 10:07 wouldn't be beaten. And as the months began to pass, that's exactly what happened.
You're exactly what happened. What do you mean?
This wasn't the first time Ninja Gaiden 2 had a long-standing record. Back in 2009, Hoda Ruby set a 1041 that stood for over 3 years. And in 2013, Ohone set a 1025 that stood for over a year and a half, until it was beaten by the current second place runner, Jorf.
Let's say I know I've been to Celadon.
Ninja Gaiden 2 was no stranger to long-lasting records, but this one was different. Jimmy was so far ahead of the rest that even though the community was active, nobody had any illusions of taking his record. And a great illustration of this is the Ninja Gaiden 2 tournament. In May 2016, Sinister One organized a tournament for Ninja Gaiden 2, featuring most of the game's top runners. Guess who won? Yeah, of course, it was Jimmy Poopins. But it's not just that he won, it's how he won.
Jimmy Poopins has swept the entire top 8 to become the Ninja Gaiden 2 tournament champion. Congratulations to Jimmy.
In the best of 5 finals, he won 3-0, including getting a 10-17 that beat the fastest run anybody else in the world had ever gotten. This man was simply on another level. So, with his run sitting at the top of the leaderboard and nobody else close to him, time began to pass. See, despite his massive skill advantage, Jimmy also had no
trainers
running
in this round.
He'd gone through one heck of a grind to get his 1007, and now even months later, he didn't want to play.
Definitely not complaining though.
As 2017 came around, his world record remained on top, but other runners did inch a little bit closer. Gyarados, Arceus, and
Gyarados!
Although all 3 were
still you actually pronounced it right. How to spell.
But one runner stood above the rest. He wasn't yet on Jimmy's level, but he was improving rapidly. After a series of PBs in mid-2016, he moved into 2nd place. For the first time ever, someone was putting actual pressure on Jimmy. Meet Becco.
Hi, Becco. Stupid name, but hi.
Oh my god.
2 seconds away from Jimmy's world record. Who was this guy? How had he gotten so good? Becco is a high-level speedrunner across multiple games. Pretty much any game he touches, he immediately gets a good time in. And his list of world records is impressive. He's held the top spot in Mega Man 4, 5, and 6, and has dominated the leaderboard in other popular games too. He began running Ninja Gaiden 2 right around the time Jimmy got his 1007, and within weeks, he was in the top 5. After taking a break for a few months, Becco was ready. He was going to make a push for the world record. With his 1009, he moved within reach. But people had tried and failed to even get close to the 1007 before. How could he save time over such an optimized run? Well, Becco held 2 distinct advantages over Jimmy. The first advantage, Becco was willing and able to go for new, risky strategies.
Willing and able, get your elbows off the table.
The last couple levels of the run. In 7-1, it's possible to clip through this wall with slaps.
Clip that, chat. Clip it.
The trick in 4-2. This had been known for years, but Jimmy found it too risky to go for in his 1007. Becco committed to going for it, and as a result, was able to save half a second. Another wall clip can be done later in the level, going through this wall rather than having to go down and around. This one is even more valuable, saving about 1.3 seconds. He also had new
as opposed to
and the Act 1 together saving close to 2
Can I fly to
seconds.
Pallet Town?
So when combining everything,
Can, good.
Becco could
You should heal me, right?
save nearly 4 seconds on
Please.
new strategies alone.
Playing Master Duel, what am I clipping? I just said clip that because in the video, he was talking about how like someone playing Ninja Gaiden like clipped through the wall or whatever. So I was just saying clip that as a joke. Anyway, I don't think I can heal in Pallet Town, which is really.
In Ninja Gaiden 2, rather than climbing normally, it's faster to ascend a wall by doing a series of small jumps up the side.
Did I miss this trainer
The
one?
inputs of wall jump are quite precise. You jump off the wall with A, up, and right, then move back to the wall quickly with B, up, and left. The shorter length of time you hang off the wall, the more time you save. Ideally, you're only off the wall for 1 or 2 frames before moving back. Becco was super talented at wall climbing, even compared to Jimmy. He was able to both sneak in more wall jumps and perform them more optimally. He only saved fractions of a second in each section, but across the run, his faster movement added up to a couple of seconds. So overall, Becco still had to do the same hard tricks as Jimmy. The Ashtar quick kill, the boosts, and the clips. But the new strategies, combined with faster wall climbing, meant Becco's floor was a lot lower. He could potentially get a run of 10 minutes flat. A year ago, this seemed impossible. Jimmy's 10:07 was unbeatable, and nobody was close to him. But now, reality had set in. Becco had ascended the mountain, and he was in position to take Jimmy's record.
Wow.
This is a pretty good place to grind, actually.
No way. Oh my god.
It had happened. A new world record by roughly half a second. Jimmy's 10:07 had lasted for 14 months, much less time than most expected. So what did the new record look like? Well, it started by bleeding a bunch of time. Becco accidentally got knocked back in Act 2, and had a slower boss kill. In Act 3, he failed to boost up at the end of 3-2, and once again, lost time on the boss. These mistakes cost him 5 seconds combined. He was way behind Jimmy's 10:07. But then his faster movement started to kick in. He had much quicker wall jumps in Act 4, and cleaned up Jimmy's lone mistake in Act 5. Going into Act 7, his deficit was down to 3 seconds, and that's when his big time saves came into play. The clips, the wall climbing opportunities, the boss kills. When all was said and done, Becco had saved 3.3 seconds in Act 7, enough to push him in front of the record and achieve a 10:06. While congratulations poured in, Becco wasn't satisfied with this record. He knew he'd bled time early, and in theory, a run down to 10 minutes flat was possible. Both Becco and Jimmy were skilled enough players to take the record there, but Jimmy wasn't interested. His Ninja Gaiden 2 days were behind him, and he was perfectly satisfied with the legacy of his 10:07. Jimmy Poopins had retired from Ninja Gaiden 2. But Becco, on the other hand,
Didn't.
well, he was just getting started.
Nice.
After more than a year of grinding, after a constant stream of world records, this was Becco's magnum opus. He had completely taken over the Ninja Gaiden 2 leaderboard. There was still a big gap between Jimmy and the others, but now there was another big gap between Becco and Jimmy. 10 minutes flat was a remarkable run. It was a culmination of all the new tricks and strategies from the past year. He got the new boss kills and clips, and his movement was better than ever. But what's fascinating is that even though Becco did so many things well, there were still a number of mistakes. He got knocked back in 3-2, got stuck on the wall in 4-1, and his Jackio 1 kill was a bit slower. With that much time loss, how was the run so fast? Well, during Becco's grind, his sum of best started to plummet. As he implemented small new time saves and his movement became even better, he began to gain time in new places. After months of grinding, Becco's sum of best ultimately settled at a 954. Now, this wasn't realistic for a full game run.
Oh, I just used my 2 moonlights for no reason. Idiot.
And over the past few months, Becco would come to realize that a sub 10 was indeed possible if he could get a nearly perfect run from start to finish. Despite a huge gap between himself and Jimmy, Becco kept pushing to get to sub 10. He was no longer competing with anybody. He was testing his own limits and challenging himself to take the run under 10 minutes. He just needed to clean up 1 or 2 mistakes. Becco continued playing for weeks, but eventually he fell into a slump. After a series of rapid improvements, suddenly he found himself unable to save any time. It was as if he ran into a wall, and the sub 10 barrier was his limit. So, Becco moved on to other games. The sub 10 would still be there when he was ready. It was time to take a bit of a break. Over the following 6 months, the top 5 remained exactly the same. While players were still running the game, most of them were lower down on the leaderboard. Nobody with a shot at the record. A few months later, things heated up when a new runner, Wang Dao, entered the top 5. He improved quickly, getting under 10:15 and then becoming just the 3rd player ever to get a sub 10:10. But he wasn't quite world record capable. His sum of best was just barely below Becco's time. After a long and steady grind, he topped out at a 10:06 in May 2019, still a decent chunk away from the record. Meanwhile, Becco himself seemed to have no desire to return. At this point, a year had passed since his last grind, and through all that time, sub 10 was still sitting right there. The other top players simply weren't capable of getting it. Becco had to be the guy, but he didn't want to play Ninja Gaiden 2, despite being just 1 second away. So if Becco was out, and the rest of the top 5 were out, there was only one hope of getting the sub 10. Jimmy hadn't played the game in over 3 years, but in mid-2019, more out of boredom than anything else, he decided to give it another try. He had no aspirations of getting the world record or a sub 10, but with all the new tech and strategies, he did want to beat his legendary 10:07. After years of inactivity, what type of player was Jimmy? Could he still compete with Becco? Well, he knew there was one place where he was definitely outmatched: wall climbing. Becco had revolutionized the game with his wall climbs, and it helped him pull away from Jimmy back in the day. If Jimmy was serious about lowering his time, he needed to improve his wall climbs. So, he began to drill wall climbing, trying to optimize them and squeeze as much time from them as he could. If Jimmy improved his wall climbing, combined with the new strategies, he knew that the PBs would start to pour in.
It's gonna be close. Yes!
Wow, that was a miracle. I don't know how in the world I survived that. I should not have survived that.
That's it? We got a frame count to see if that's faster than Becco's.
Jimmy's skill hadn't gone anywhere. This run wasn't the world record, but it was just 4 frames away. Less than 1/10 of a second. It had some slowdowns early, especially in 2-1, but he kept it going through the middle acts, and a solid Act 7 let him pull ahead of his personal best. A few small movement mistakes were all that prevented the sub 10. In the past, Becco's wall climbing separated him from Jimmy, but those days were over. Jimmy had officially caught up. and he was a fraction of a second from getting the first sub 10. Seeing Jimmy,
It's funny, I didn't know I could get in counter there.
Becco decided he had to come back. So, in the summer of 2019, Becco started up the grind again. For the first time ever, Becco and Jimmy were playing Ninja Gaiden 2 at the same time. The race for the sub 10 was on. Both players were feeling the pressure. This was a milestone that could only be achieved once in the game's history. They played for weeks, and each had their share of promising runs, but the sub 10 still remained elusive. Until finally, on September 7th, 2019, one of them did this.
Yes! Yes! Oh my god! Yes! Oh my god!
Even after a 3-year break, Jimmy won the race to sub 10. It took a really clean run from start to finish, with the one strange exception being Act 6. This is usually the easiest act in the game, with 2 easy stages and a simple boss kill. But Jimmy got knocked back in 6-1 and lost the second. Beyond that, the run was fantastic. He picked up time over the record in Acts 2 and 5, and had one of his fastest Act 7s ever to gain 2 more seconds. Now, Becco had put up a good fight. For years, he was completely dominant, but the return of Jimmy was a bit too much to overcome. There was still room to lower the record, but Becco decided to stop his attempts and move on once more. Jimmy had won the battle. He was the first to get the sub 10. But this was just one moment in Ninja Gaiden 2's history. There was still plenty of time left to optimize. For the next year and a half, the world record remained stagnant. Becco and Jimmy were satisfied to leave the game alone for a while. Throughout all of 2020, neither of them speedran Ninja Gaiden 2. It takes an enormous effort to lower your time at this level, and you have to be mentally ready for a long grind. You're probably gonna have to play for months, just to have a realistic chance at getting a PB. And it's not like anybody was close to passing them. Becco and Jimmy stood head and shoulders above the rest. During this year and a half, there was practically no movement on the leaderboards. Nobody new entered the top 5, and nobody approached the sub 10.
The King's a lot faster than I thought it was, honestly.
If this record is going to be improved, it had to be either Becco or Jimmy.
What is Seeking speed?
Sure enough,
68. Oh, okay, no, it's not that high. I don't know how I'm at speed and everything, but I'm not complaining, I guess.
One of them got back to the grind. It had been over a year since Becco had last played the game, and 3 years since he last improved his time. He had some unfinished business to take care of. Becco still had to get his sub 10. His last grind had resulted in failure, as Jimmy beat him to it. Now was his chance to finish the job. He wasn't going to go for many new strategies. There was still time to save around the edges from Jimmy's 959. His movement was good, but there were minor slowdowns that could be optimized, especially in Acts 2 and 4, plus the knockback in Act 6. Without anything new, there was room to pick up at least a couple seconds on the record. On March 4th, 2021, just a few weeks into his grind, Becco had a promising run. Thanks to a beautiful Act 2 and 4, he saved over a second and a half, losing a little in Act 3 due to a missed jump onto the wall. With nearly free time to save in Act 6 from Jimmy's knockback, Becco suddenly had a 2-second lead into Act 7. If he could hold on for one more act, this was gonna be a sub 10. Just weeks into his return, Becco had taken back the world record. A clutch performance from start to finish, and his first world record since February 2018. But still, Becco wasn't quite satisfied. He had that mistake in Act 3 and lost a second over Jimmy's Act 7. There was also a faster strategy he could go for in Act 1. By jumping in a 4-frame window, tapping left for 1 frame, and getting lucky with hit detection, it's possible to quickly grab an extra clone. It's a faster route through the stage, but also allows you to do a faster boss kill. Combined, it can save over a second. Bottom line, there was still room to improve, and Becco wanted to keep going. But by taking the world record, he'd also gotten the attention of someone else. Having left his record untouched for a year and a half, Jimmy was more motivated than ever. And to force himself to stay motivated, he was going to stream every single day, sick days and holidays included, until setting
One of the few people that can actually learn HM via level up.
His goal was beating his own 959.
No, it's worse than Surf. How'd I learn it?
But the title
Literally a
was true intent.
worse version of Surf.
Jimmy wanted the world record back. He didn't know how long it would take, but he was going to stream every day until it happened. While Jimmy committed to his daily record attempts, Becco kept playing too. Not every day, but enough to put more pressure on the record. These guys both knew 958 wasn't the game's final resting place. They both wanted to be the one to take it lower. For weeks, Becco and Jimmy grinded the game hard, each having their chances at the record. But ultimately, Becco would be the next one to strike. This run had the 1-second time save in Act 1, and made the frame-perfect jump on the wall in Act 3. It had a chance of being a massive record, with a 2-second lead into Act 7. But he fell down going through the wall in 7-1, got knocked back in 7-2, and had a slower Jackie 03. It finished a 1/10 of a second ahead of the record, but this wasn't the improvement that Becco or Jimmy was looking for. Still, if you could get a run back to Act 7, you could save multiple seconds at the end and crush the world record. Both runners continued, hoping to get that ultimate run. And just 3 days later, Becco would get a golden opportunity.
Alright, we are officially grinded
He
for
failed to grab the wall in Act 3 and had small movement time
or
lost
Brock.
elsewhere. But he nailed the Ashtar quit kill, something he'd been doing more often lately, thanks to a new method from Cartina.
I'm gonna look at Brock's team real quick.
Jimmy didn't like it as much, but Becco credited it for making him much more consistent. And as he played through Act 7, the time saves continued. Was this the run Becco had been looking for?
Okay, so he has Kabutops, Amistar, Rhyhorn, Graveler, and Onyx. Okay.
This incredible run came just 2 months.
Well, let's go out
Becco
to
and Jimmy's simultaneous grind. Becco got the extra clone in Act 1 and saved.
Yeah,
3
I guess we
seconds
can
in
lead with
Act 7,
Seeking. That's fine.
while the middle acts had only
Or no, I'm gonna
1
lead with
seconds.
Slowbro actually.
This is exactly the type of run he was
After
going
this
for.
trainer.
Becco was done. And Jimmy, on the other hand, well, he had yet to beat his 959, despite 60 consecutive days of streaming. 3 records in a row from Becco, including a killer 955, while Jimmy was stuck at 959. This record was good enough to make Becco stop playing. There really wasn't much time save left. But Jimmy doubled down. He changed his stream title to reflect his current goal, getting the world record back. He wasn't stopping until he did it, no matter how long it took. May passed without any improvements. Then June passed, and then July. Jimmy had been playing for over 100 consecutive days, and still, he couldn't beat his 959. The situation
I had to go for
was
sleep
getting
powder, but it's
desperate.
fine.
He was tired of being in second place.
Alrighty, there we go.
But then, in August, that
Brock.
changed.
Alright, next trainer. Our gym leader one fight is Surge.
Oh my god. What is this?
What is this? What is this? Is that it? Is that sub 10? And clonk! We did it! We got the sub 10. I don't believe it. What a grind. What a grind. It's done. That was it. We just got a sub 10 in Ninja Gaiden 2.
And just like that, Jimmy Poopins was kicked out of the top 2. The guy to do it was Arcus, a speedrunning legend. The same man who'd set 16 consecutive Ninja Gaiden 1 world records. It's no surprise that when he put some effort into Ninja Gaiden 2, he was able to ascend to the top of...
Okay, I should not have almost died there.
And after a months-long grind, he beat Jimmy by a quarter of a second. Now, in all honesty, these two players weren't on the same level. Arcus's summit best was 956, slower than the world record, while Jimmy's was in the 940s. But by going for more consistent strategies, Arcus was able to get more runs with a chance at sub 10. There was no way he was beating Becco, but a 959 was just within his capabilities. And he got it. Jimmy Poopins was now in 3rd place. Well, one thing was clear. This strategy wasn't working for Jimmy. He'd been playing for months straight, and had only moved down on the leaderboard. He was still committed to playing every single day, but maybe he had to rethink his approach. He could stick to more consistent strategies, like Arcus did, and try to whittle his time down that way. But no, that's not who Jimmy Poopins is. 5 years ago, when he set his legendary 1007, he did it by going all out, by leaving no stones unturned. So, rather than play it safe, Jimmy decided to do a deep dive.
We may have Mon's weak to electric type, but I'm genuinely not worried about Surge. Should I be? Maybe, but I'm not.
Much time as possible. And the end result, hopefully, would be a new and improved version of Jimmy Poopins. First, Jimmy took another look at his wall climbs. He calculated exactly how many jumps he needed for each section, trying to squeeze out extra ones wherever possible. His goal was to have a game plan every time he had the wall climb. Rather than hoping for the best, he'd say, I need exactly 5
Okay, so he's got no Pokemon that are immune to electric type. I do have to worry about the electrodes, I guess, but...
And the extra wall jumps saved time too. He also looked to remove uses of the invincible fire wheel in Acts 4 and 5. This weapon makes you invincible for a short period, helping make sections of the run much easier.
I didn't mean to do that.
Activate it,
I guess it works out though.
Stop moving and press up and B, which costs about 2 frames. Avoiding the fire wheel across all of Acts 4 and 5 saves a few tenths of a second, but it does make the stages more difficult. Since Jimmy was going all out, he committed to it, hoping to get that small time save every...
Wait, I thought Lieutenant Search has a...
In 3-2,
wow, this website's wrong. The level cap's level 46. Interesting.
By slowing down with up and B, you can get the crescent guy to wrap to the other side of the screen. You can then boost off of his crescent, making it to the wall.
This isn't what I wanted.
Crescent boost.
So it worked out though.
Avoiding any frame perfect or random jumps.
All right, we'll beat Surge.
3,
Easy sweep.
Jimmy started
I was right to not be worried.
Where you end
next is Erica.
Repeatedly, you can get more slashes in and ultimately kill the boss faster. So,
who is
results, Jimmy had a new game plan.
46.
This was going to make the run harder as a whole, but it could pay off in the long run. At least nobody could say he wasn't trying. He continued on with his daily grind, and once again, weeks passed without an improvement. But then, on day 183 of the grind, Jimmy had this run.
Finally, man.
It wasn't a world record, but it was something. His first improvement in 2 years. Jimmy was back in 2nd place. The run failed to capitalize on some of the big time saves, but had excellent wall climbing and 3 fast Jackio fights. After 6 months of non-stop grinding, Jimmy finally had something to show for it. This run reinvigorated Jimmy. His deep dive had paid off, and he was playing better than ever. If he could clean up a few mistakes, the world record was right around the corner. And a short while later, he got more help courtesy of tool-assisted speedrunners from China. A couple new wall clips. The big one was in 4.2. You have to tap right for only one frame, 1/60th of a second, then immediately switch to left. But it allows you to clip through the wall rather than going up and around. Since it saved close to a full second, Jimmy decided to commit to going for it. Things were looking up. Jimmy was playing at his best.
Pokemon Golden Silver Hardcore Nuzlocke is like a mini version of, like the Kanto is like a mini version of a Nuzlocke, because you still got to do all the gym leaders and stuff. They're just like way weaker, and it's like kind of a bonus Nuzlocke almost. It's kind of funny.
His daily counter was in the 200s.
Oh wait, I'm already at the little cap.
A lot of
How you doing?
And he wasn't able to capitalize on
all right.
this. Logic says he probably should have just skipped the 4.2 clip, but he refused. Eventually, the counter passed.
We're gonna give Goldingle the experience share just so I don't accidentally get anyone over the little cap.
World record. Jimmy's confidence had plummeted. He was rarely ever on record pace. New strategies and all, he couldn't beat Becco. And he was close to giving up. But on day 407, Jimmy got a glimmer of hope. It was a beautiful
This
pace.
is not the gym.
He had cleaned up an Act 2 mistake and kept it going through Act 3. He got to the clip in 4.2 and nailed it. This was one of his best paces ever into Ashtar. It would be a good time to...
We're gonna give Poof the leftovers.
I've been having that problem where I get a slash instead of an E.
1 damage short, and it cost him 4 seconds. Run over. Right? A miraculous 957. Jimmy had just lowered his PB for the second time in over 400 days. Had he gotten the Ashtar quick kill, he would have crushed the world record. His grind was finally starting to pay off. Despite being a very small improvement, Jimmy took a huge leap forward with this run. He had essentially played a better speed run than the world record. Now, he just had to finish the job. The job that started 407 days ago. It was a good-looking run right from the get-go.
I don't even have to...
close with the record, and was only very slightly behind thanks to a missed boost in 5.2. Then...
that should have killed.
For Ashtar.
Alright.
Or maybe not, I don't know.
And as the run progressed, suddenly, it all made sense. This is why Jimmy had been at the grind for well over a year. This is why he refused to budge from his hard strategies. He didn't just want the world record. He wanted the best run he was capable of getting. It was a test
You
of his
would
own limits.
wake up the very
When
next.
it was all done, Jimmy didn't know how to react. A 453-day journey had suddenly come to an end. What do you do?
I just gotta go for Solar Beam here. I think we gotta go to... oh, or Synthesis. Okay.
I don't think I've ever cried on stream before, but I'm at that point. It only takes 453
Of course I missed!
my new lucky number.
Becco is a great rival, but it wasn't just his quest. It was also Jimmy's quest to beat Jimmy Poopins. Thanks for watching.
Don't wake up. Alright. Erica was surprisingly the hardest gym leader so far.
level 5-2 from Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. It's a game known for its difficulty.
All right, next gym
5-2
is
designed to be no exception.
Cerulean, so that's Misty.
Experience and practice. When speedrunners began playing this game, they expected 5-2 to be just another level they had to conquer. But as they tore it apart, they found that 5-2 was anything but ordinary.
The level comes 47, so I need to grind you in.
Like none other. Hundreds of hours have gone into breaking it down. But it's a puzzle.
Wait, do you still have the experience share? Oh, okay.
Glitches not seen
Making
anywhere
sure.
else. Strategies unique to this level. Mario games are known for their speedrunning tricks. But there's no level with the history of 5-2. And now, a word from this video's sponsor, Rocket Money. Look, I'm subscribed to a number of services. Streaming platforms, music, cloud storage, it's hard to keep track of it all. And recently, I realized that I was still subscribed to a platform that I hadn't watched in months. It was costing me money the entire time. Well, Rocket Money is here to help. Rocket Money is an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save more and spend less. It's a personal finance app that allows you to manage subscriptions, lower bills, build a custom budget, and grow your savings, all in one place. I think it's a great tool to help you save money. Rocket Money safely and securely identifies recurring charges and cancels unwanted subscriptions for you. They also automatically monitor your spending by category, give notifications when you've exceeded them, and visualize your spend to earn ratio by month, quarter, or year. To save more and spend less, join the 3.4 million members using Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/summoningsalt or click the link in the description to get started for free. You can also unlock even more features with premium. That's rocketmoney.com/summoningsalt to get started for free. What makes 5-2 so unique? Well, it begins as a straightforward stage. You run forward while dodging Koopas and Piranha Plants. This can be tricky without slowing down, but with practice you can time your jumps so it's no issue. But 5-2 gets interesting after running past a long upside-down pipe.
Okay, so Misty's team is Golduck, Quagsire, Lapras, and Starmie. Only 4 Mons.
Sends you to the World 8 Warp Zone. So 5-2
I just gotta worry about Ice type, because for some reason Starmie doesn't have Psychic, so I only have to worry about Ice and Ice, Water, and Ground super effectiveness.
Pretty straightforward. You can just run and jump without stopping. But the challenge comes from the transition. How do you get from the underground section to the Warp Zone as quickly as possible? Well, back in 2004, tool-assisted speedrunners tried to answer that question. Biscuit published a task in February 2004 where you hit the block from below, then landed on an elevator and rode to the top. It worked, but it was pretty slow.
We want to take off Snorlax's
found a faster method. With precise movement, you could barely land on this higher elevator, then just jump up and climb the vine. This was about a second faster, but there was still one frustrating element. After exiting the
could take Espeon or Crobat.
Sit there and wait for 5 seconds while a cutscene
take Gyarados.
Climbing the vine plays. This is universal anytime you climb a vine in Super Mario Bros.
Let's deposit Sand Slash for I can use for,
but it
and we'll get out
down quite a bit.
Polish.
So Biscuit's methods from 2004 were fast, but a question still remained. Can you somehow get rid of this 5-second cutscene? Welcome to 2008. The best Super Mario player in the world is a man known as Andrew G. Andrew is synonymous with Mario speedrunning. He's held the Mario 1 record for years, and is so far ahead that he's gotten bored with it. So now, he's playing its sequel, The Lost Levels. Andrew began running the game in mid-2008, and initially played 5-2 like others did. But then, Andrew decided to try something new. See, whenever you leave the screen, the game determines where you go based on a value called the area pointer. In 5-2, once you pass the right lip of this pipe, the area pointer changes to the warp zone, which is why the vine takes you there. But the game doesn't care how you leave the screen. You can either climb a vine or go down a pipe, and you'll be taken to the same place. Except the cutscene only plays when you climb a vine. If you arrive somewhere via a pipe, you simply spawn in without fanfare. So even though
Alright, next gym is
accessing the warp
Saffron, Psychic type gym.
5 seconds. If only we could find a pipe. These upside down pipes are new to the lost levels,
yeah.
and they put one right next to the warp zone. This would be perfect.
Those Psychic type.
Except you can't enter upside down pipes.
Let's deposit
the entire game. A lesser man would be discouraged.
Abolish. You're weak to Psychic. Don't get out. Oh, we can get Miltank out, actually. Alright.
This is a normal pipe. You enter from the top. This is an upside down pipe. Its pieces are simply reordered, not rotated, so it's still accessible to enter from the middle. And normally, if you jump into the edge of a block, the game just ejects you out. But here, the game pushes you into the edge of the screen and no further. So you can't exit the pipe, and by mashing jump to clip further inside, you can go down the middle. Andrew G has found the first human viable method of a 5-2 wrong warp. Andrew entered the pipe with a 349 on the timer. It counts down from 400, so the higher the number, the faster you were. There were few speedruns of the lost levels back in 2008, so Andrew's 349 was the time to beat. However, his platforming was pretty messy, as he picked up a star and missed a jump to the pipe. This was Andrew's first speedrun of the lost levels, and he wasn't going for perfect optimization. So, don't get me wrong, Andrew's pipe clip was revolutionary, especially for 2008. But it was clear that his run of 5-2 had room for improvement. The first improvement came the next year, and it was a big one. In 2009, a player named Agwawaf was able to get a 357. It was pretty much what you'd expect. He used the same pipe clip as Andrew while cleaning up the earlier platforming. Yet it still wasn't perfectly clean. He had to stop and scroll the screen a bit more before jumping back across the gap. But in the end, it was enough to save roughly 3 seconds over Andrew G. The following year, Andrew came back for a more optimized run of the game, and he ended up getting the cleanest version of 5-2 we've seen.
Kind of have to.
In addition to a smooth ending, he also skipped doing a backwards bump. It's easier to set up the pipe clip.
We're gonna give the experience share to
this changes Mario's position on the screen.
Speaking.
There's more wiggle room when jumping back across the gap.
Okay.
This is the first iteration of 5-2 that skipped the backwards bump.
This is the one I least care about not using. So.
60 on the timer.
We're good.
It saved 3 in-game increments, or about 1 second.
Alright, let me look up your team.
For the next few years, this was the strat. A wrong warp without bumping. It was risky, but it was the fastest strategy around. But after 4 years, in 2014...
Alright, you got an Espeon, Mr. Mime, and Alakazam. Not very,
and with it,
not a lot of pull in there.
5-2.
I think we should, honestly, I genuinely believe that we should actually,
this was a very smart idea
have Slowbro out.
The
leftovers.
You start by doing 2 bumps, one forward and one backward. Then, by brushing off this block and rebounding to the left, you can quickly make it back across the pit. When combined with the 2 bumps earlier, this scrolls the screen just enough to leave a small gap next to the pipe, allowing you to complete the wrong warp. This method is super consistent, and the rebound itself is fast too. But due to the bumps required,
well, that was easy.
You end with a 359 on the timer, slightly slower than the 360 from the bump-free turnaround method. As a result, it sometimes loses a frame rule. Oh yeah, you might not know what a frame rule is.
Oh boy. Alright, next is Blaine.
I know. A lot of you already know what frame rules are. So, we're gonna shake things up and see if we can set a speedrun explained world record. At the end of each level, the game only checks for completion every 21 frames. Essentially, this means you can only gain or lose time in increments of 0.35 seconds for every level. The best analogy of this was created several years ago by Darbian. It's as if at the end of every level, a bus arrives every 21 frames to take you to the next level. Even if you miss the bus by 1 frame, you'll have to wait 20 frames to catch the next one. But it also means you don't have to play perfectly. You can be close enough to someone who did play perfectly and not lose any time. A frame rule lasts about a third of a second, and an in-game increment lasts about a third of a second too. So generally for each full increment gained, you save 1 frame rule. There it is, new world record. Bismuth's got nothing on me. Now, that was a lot of information, but the gist of it is that in 5-2, you can only gain or lose time in increments of 21 frames. And generally, if you've saved an in-game second, you've saved a frame rule. Despite being a little slow, the block rebound method was the strat from 2014 into 2015. Its consistency was just too good to pass up. But typically, every time a new record holder took the reins, the 5-2 strategy changed a bit. And in late 2015, someone new got the Lost Levels world record. This runner was none other than Darbian. Yeah, in addition to being the bus metaphor man, Darbian also happened to be the best Super Mario player on the planet from 2015 through 2016. Initially, Darbian did the block rebound method too, even getting a world record with it. But eventually, he was looking for more time to save. So in early 2016, he decided to switch back to Andrew's bumpless turnaround method. And he got really good at it. This got a 361 on the timer, and saved 2 frame rules over the rebound method. But even this didn't satisfy Darbian. He wanted more time to save, darn it, and nothing was going to stop him. So in mid-2016, Darbian started trying to throw this into his runs. This is a wall jump, and it's one of the hardest mechanics in Super Mario Bros. If Mario runs into a block, he'll usually stand inside of it for 1 frame before being ejected out. If he's in the top 4 pixels of a block when he collides, and you press jump on the 1 frame he's inside, Mario will perform a wall jump. That's a frame-perfect trick within a 4-pixel window. It's not easy. Wall jumps are used at times in full game speedruns, but typically only when it saves big time or when the alternative is more difficult. Essentially, the risk-reward has to be worth it. And in 5-2, the downside is it's a frame-perfect trick that kills half your runs. The upside is that it sometimes saves 1 frame rule. Yeah, as awesome as it looks, the 5-2 wall jump never really caught on. The risk simply wasn't worth it. So, for the rest of 2016, 5-2 remained the same. After all that evolution, after all those modifications, they were back to a variation of Andrew G's 2008 strategy. It was the method that best balanced safety with speed, so it was what stuck with top runners. Speedrunning is funny. Sometimes your original ideas can't be beaten. And other times, you have no idea when something.
Why they didn't get blamed Arcanine, I have no idea. Doesn't make any sense.
At AGDQ 2017, Darby.
Alright, well it's time to grind for blue.
In 5-2, they all went for the
now,
strat.
This is where we gotta determine our final team.
It was a fun race, and everything was standard.
More or less.
But
okay, I'm obviously not gonna use Goldeen. I'm not gonna use Wigglytuff, sorry. Maybe Slowbro, maybe.
Somebody named Eden. Eden said that he didn't understand why they were doing such
Snorlax probably.
5-2. Well, it was the fastest
Do I want to use
strategy
Crobat?
that 3 runners knew, other than the wall.
It's only really gonna be good against Venusaur.
Technique list, a
For red.
website from 2004.
That's literally
On
it.
that page,
So no, I'm not gonna use
something
Crobat.
that blew their minds.
And honestly, with that logic, I might not even use Hero either. Okay, Ampharos is good against. Okay, let's just take in the Pokemon I want, and then we can worry about type stuff.
No need to jump back across the gap. Devil's Spell is a mechanic that Japanese ROM hackers found back in the early 2000s. As with the other wall clip method, when you jump into a block, the game tries to eject you out.
Okay, let's look at each Pokemon individually. Who do we have to deal with?
The game actually
Pikachu. We have Miltank, which I think outspeeds. Will Pikachu outspeed or not? It's 90 speed, so yeah, we should outspeed the Pikachu. So we got Miltank for Pikachu. Espeon. We also have Snorlax and Miltank and Slowbro and Espeon, our own Espeon. Yeah, I think we're good at Espeon. Snorlax is a tough one. Worry about.
They knew Devil's Spell was huge. But
We don't really have a good mod for Gyarados.
With the
We got
turnaround strategy, an optimal time
or not Gyarados,
361,
Snorlax.
but at AGDQ,
There's Sudowoodo.
they were regularly getting 363 to 364, a save of 2 to 3 frame rolls. And as they went home and began implementing it in their runs, it got even better.
Go Red's
With a
team, here we
really
go.
clean clip, runners were able to get a high 365 in their runs,
Okay.
saving 5 frame rolls over the turnaround.
So Snorlax has Amnesia, Snore, Rest, and Body Slam, so it can't do anything against a Gengar or a Haunter, I guess would be. So if we get rid of the Espeon, then we could have Haunter guaranteed beat the Snorlax. So I could do Haunter actually. That's kind of tempting.
The screen has to scroll enough, and to get it to keep scrolling, you have to start running once you're in the pipe.
All right. Think about it. Next is Charizard, which we have Gyarados and Slowbro and Ampharos. Next is Blastoise, which we have Ampharos, and then a couple other Pokemon would be good actually. Are good against it. I'd say so. I'm not worried about that. Venusaur, we have Espeon, kind of Ampharos. We got Fire Punch, so that's kind of it though. Venusaur. Okay, so my biggest problem Pokemon are Snorlax and Venusaur. Can Venusaur do any? I don't think Venusaur can do anything to Haunter besides Sleep Powder.
So bizarre and was a highlight of most runs.
So wait, hold on.
January 2017.
It doesn't have Sleep Powder in this game. I was looking at the Hard Gold, so Silver one. Yeah, it doesn't have Sleep Powder, so yeah, honestly, Haunter might be our best bet here.
World record after world record was set, each one containing
All
an
right.
example of the Devil's Spell.
Who do we replace for Haunter though? Who's gonna be the least useful on this current team right here? Slowbro's good against Charizard.
Are we fast?
Kinda Espeon. Yeah, I kind of feel like I want to keep and maybe kind of Blastoise too. But yeah, I think I want to keep Slowbro. Do I want to keep Miltank? Miltank is going to be good against not really anyone, honestly.
They could perform tricks that would have been far too
So I might want to replace Miltank, honestly.
And while Devil's Spell
What about Gyarados, honestly? Gyarados might be
starting to become trivial. So
worse.
is there anything left on the table in 5?
Gyarados is good against Charizard.
There was
That's kind of it, actually.
Recall that
And I already have a water type with Slowbro. So I think we're honestly going to want to get rid of Gyarados.
Use the wrong warp. Now remember,
For,
speedruns are different from real-time runs.
We'll get rid of our Gyarados for... Oh, wait, there's Lugia. Forgot about Lugia. We're gonna go get Lugia.
Well, in 2006, thanks to Mr. Swede...
Alright, let me get out my HM Gyarados here. Let me make sure there's not too many Pokemon in this party. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13,
was
14.
faster than
I lost count.
that real-time
1,
runners
2,
would come
3,
up
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
The
10,
issue was
11,
it was
12,
way
13,
too
14,
hard.
15, 16,
Harder than
17,
Avery's
8.
turnaround method,
Yeah,
harder
we
than
haven't
double
enough
spell,
Pokemon
even
in the-
much harder than the wall jump
or not
strategy.
too many Pokemon in the box.
Nearly 15 years
I don't have a
later,
Flymon with me.
maybe people had improved enough to try it. This is the 5-2 task strategy.
I need a Kenya, Sabenya, Alavis, Jedaba.
So it's obvious why this is faster than Double Spell. You barely even have to slow down. But it's like the wall is liquid. How do you just run inside of it? Well, if Mario is running at full speed, he can potentially land 3 pixels inside the wall before he's
It's so hot in my room for some reason.
But just like Double Spell, if you press left when you enter and repeatedly jump, Mario will continue to get sucked in. Once you're fully
That's not gonna
in the
help me.
wall, you start running to scroll the screen and can then go down the pipe. Now, several components of this trick were hard, but the real roadblock was just entering the wall. In order to land 3 pixels inside the wall, Mario's sub-pixels need to be correct. That's his positioning at a level more precise than just the pixel he's on. In normal gameplay, this value is essentially random. Nearly every small input you make with the D-pad changes Mario's sub-pixel value. So unless they got very lucky with sub-pixels, real-time runners weren't clipping into the wall. Even though the strategy was found in 2006, it wasn't even considered in speedruns. But by 2018, a year after Double Spell was discovered, a bit of progress was made. They were trying to find a consistent setup for the sub-pixel value in order to make it a viable strategy. Top runner Takate was able to perform the trick using a save state shortly before the pipe.
Yes! 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 Yes!
I don't have Wigglytuff with me.
Someone else.
Yeah, I should go get Wigglytuff so I don't have to freaking deal with not being able to see.
420 Blaze It, the same guy who discovered the 4-2 wall clip setup in Mario 1. Over the next couple years, more players got the task strategy using a frame-perfect setup, but it was still considered far too risky to go for in runs. Needing a frame-perfect setup, combined with the difficult inputs at the pipe, meant it was an extremely inconsistent
excuse
trick.
me?
They needed a better sub-pixel setup.
Okay, Sponsored Bond that doesn't have any HM. You.
In December 2020,
Oh my gosh.
found an amazing setup. By running off a ledge with down and right, and doing a full jump on any of the 2nd through 5th frames after you land, your sub-pixels will always be set up for the clip. Now, this still didn't make the trick easy, but at least the sub-pixel setup was nearly trivial. The question did remain, could anybody actually hit this in a run? Well, leave it to Niftsky, the current world record holder in the lost levels.
Oh my gosh, dude.
We've seen so many different setups, so many ways to clip into
Yeah,
the
this is
pipe,
a straight up dead end.
but in reality, they were all just substitutes for the task strategy. And now, after 14 years, it had finally been done. This is the fastest way to clip into the pipe, and level 5-2 is now fully
Wait,
optimized.
what? Does this just bring me to the same area? No, this is a different area.
So here's the thing. While this is
I don't know.
the task strategy, the task itself executes this faster. See, when Niftsky, Hits Crits, and the rest did the pipe clip, they ended with a 367 on the timer. The task gets a 368. There's actually one more frame roll to save in 5-2, and it just so happens to be the hardest frame roll to save in the entire game. These are the inputs needed to save the extra frame roll. All of the following must be perfect, with just one frame of wiggle room. You begin with an underground fast acceleration just after you land. By pressing right, left, A, and right on subsequent frames, Mario will do a backwards jump and get up to full speed one frame faster. Later, you must manipulate Mario's sub-pixels with a down plus right press. Once you get to the pipe, you have to do a frame-perfect jump with frame-perfect height and mash A at precisely 15 presses per second to get 3 jumps. Exactly 3 frames after the last jump, you do a frame-perfect down plus right press, which gives Mario a tiny amount of speed. When combined with the earlier down plus right, it's enough speed to let the screen scroll early, and you can quickly go down the pipe. Finally, in the warp zone itself, you start with another frame-perfect fast acceleration, and later perform good warp zone movement. And if you do all that within 1 frame of perfect, you can save the TAS 5-2 frame rule. Cosmic saw the time save initially, but King of Johnny Boy is the one that found this setup in June 2021. For the next 6 months after this was posted, nobody even bothered trying. Mario runners are incredible, but this was just a little too much to ask. The amount of frame-perfect inputs required in a small span? Not even worth going for. But by early 2022, the frame rule did start to pique the interest of somebody. And once again, it was Niftsky. Niftsky is the best Super Mario player on the planet. If anybody could do this, it would be him. But even Niftsky didn't feel confident. He decided to try breaking it up into different steps.
Okay, am I okay with this team?
Step 1. Use a save state as you enter the pipe, and try to get the screen to scroll quickly.
I think so.
And eventually...
We do have 3 psychic types. Do I need 3 psychic types? I don't really know. Do I need... Yeah, do I need Espeon?
For him to stop, but 6 months later,
I don't... I genuinely think I might not need Espeon, actually.
He backed up the save state to before the pipe.
What can Espeon do that Slowbro or Lugia can't?
This was the hardest part of the trick.
Yeah,
So,
Slowbro gets psychic at level 54.
But stringing everything together was a different story. He wasn't able to get
Yeah, I genuinely don't think I need Espeon, actually.
Shelved the 5-2 project.
Another one.
Had to go back to setting world records.
Just go so
Poor
stuff.
guy.
I can't really.
But finally, in February 2023, Nifty
it neither
came
then.
back again. This time, he was committed to doing the full level. After all the strategies we've seen, all the innovations that brilliant players came up with, they all built up to this moment. Somebody had finally gotten good enough to play out.
Alright, I think this is going to be our final team.
Now, Nifsky just had to execute it.
Was there something... So what I was going to use instead of, Miltank? I thought so. Earthquake's not really good against anyone. Oh, no, actually I need... Yeah, I need Miltank for the Earth... For, Pikachu.
Oh my god.
That's actually the sole reason I'm having it on my team right now.
Yes! Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god! I did it! I did it! Oh my god! Yes!
Go ahead and deposit Lugia here.
Dude,
And get out,
myself getting into warp zone and I did it! And I freaking flipped it first
This
Crobat.
is the history of 5-2. Thanks for watching.
Because I can't, I'm not gonna... I can't, use Lugia for the blue fight. Speaking of the blue fight... Let me see what his team is. Well, I know what his team is, but whatever. Okay. Let's go ahead and grind to level 58. Oh boy. Gonna be super fun.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. We've seen people beat this game blindfolded, we've seen a community rally together to take down its greatest player, but this whole time, we've missed out on the game's most competitive angle, beating the entire game from start to finish in world record time. This is an incredibly unique speedrun. The execution needed, at its worst, is some of the toughest out there. The RNG is more brutal than any other NES speedrun, and when combined, it makes for something really special. This is the crazy history of the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out world record. And now, a word from this video's sponsor, Empires and Puzzles. Empires and Puzzles is an award-winning free-to-play puzzle RPG game. It sounds simple. You just match shields of the same color to attack. The more you match, the stronger your attack. But there's much more, including specials, collectibles, and a global PvP leaderboard. Empires and Puzzles also has an upcoming holiday event featuring special hero surprises.
I'm actually probably not gonna use Haunter during the blue fight just so I don't accidentally lose him on. I'm probably gonna bring in a couple Death Water mons actually.
Soaring into action.
Play it safe.
They bring not just their unique skills, but also introduce new damage and defense types. There's never been a better time to get into Empires and Puzzles. Check it out now on the App Store and Google Play, or simply scan the QR code on screen here. Thanks again to Empires and Puzzles for sponsoring this video, and if you want to help support me,
I'm probably gonna
download the game now.
I can grind you later.
The early days of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out speedruns differed from most games. Rather than playing the entire game, players would pick one fight to focus on, replaying it over and over to grind the time down. This was a logical way to do it. The game has a built-in timer and displays your exact time after the fight. So, players could easily compete on individual fights and post their times on game FAQs.
Let me see if I can find a way to get the lucky egg.
That's what runners did for years. But one runner did something a bit different. He decided, just for fun, that he was going to complete a run of the full game, all 14 fights back to back. He was the only old school Punch-Out runner to do a full game run, and it was way ahead of
Yeah, it's like extremely rare. I'm not doing that. By the time I found it, I could have got my team like halfway grinded by then. Knowing my luck.
Turk was by far the best Punch-Out player on the planet. He was one of the most dominant speedrunners in general. His times were so hard to beat that years later, the game's best players had to embark on a quest to take them all down. But even after conquering all 14 records, Matt Turk was still hungry for something more. So, he decided to try an any percent speedrun. That's a straight shot through the game, adding up the times you get on all 14 fights. And so, we arrive at the first speedrun of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, 17 flat.20 by Matt Turk. Except, there's no surviving video. Turk rarely recorded his runs back then, since he didn't formally submit times anywhere. In my opinion, it's likely that his times were legitimate. His knowledge of the game was incredible, and what little footage we do have is extremely impressive for the time. So, we can't watch Turk's full game speedrun. But thankfully, we do know what times he got on each fight. And let's just say, it was exactly what you'd expect from a Matt Turk speedrun. Turk started with Glass Joe. He's a complete pushover in a casual playthrough. However, the fastest way to beat him is tougher. You wait until 40 seconds, then time a punch within a 4-frame window when Joe charges forward. If done properly,
my game just crashed.
Get up. Punch-Out runs
Hopefully it can fix itself.
Second, so a 4-frame window is just 1/15th of a second. That's a tough way to have to start your speed.
Please fix yourself.
But of course, Turk.
Because if it doesn't fix itself, then I'm gonna have to go back to my last save state, and that was right before I caught Lapras, which Lugia, which while not that long ago,
dangerous back-to-back fights
still would be annoying to do.
First up was Dawn Flamenco 1,
Bro.
aka Frame Perfect Dawn. By punching then dodging, and waiting until the last 60th of a second to counter him, you'll get a star. Star punches are essentially powerful uppercuts, and on Dawn 1, a star punch instantly knocks him down. He gets up, but with little health, and once you punch him down again, he'll stay down for the knockout. If done correctly, Dawn 1 can be the fastest
Crap, I'm gonna have to go to my last save state.
Just 14 seconds. But
it's just not like responding at all.
took just 1/60th of a second to properly time it. Every miss cost 6 to 7 seconds, so the time could snowball quickly.
I'll give it
Not
another
only did
minute,
Turk
and
get
if
the
it's
star on his
still
first
frozen,
try,
I'm just gonna
but he ended up once again matching the task time of 14.97. Complete perfection yet again from Matt Turk. Then came the second part of the back-to-back.
Okay. Yeah,
King
we're just
Hippo.
gonna
He is the living embodiment of RNG.
close it. It's not gonna load back.
When he opens his mouth, and he has a 3/8 chance.
For some
of
reason,
doing
it
that
just
on any given
had a heart
punch.
attack. I don't know what in the world.
You need him to
deal,
do this
but
at least 3 times to knock him out.
That's annoying.
So the fight all revolves around waiting for Hippo to open his mouth. The best fights get 3 opens straight away. This is only about a 5% chance, but can lead to a 37-second fight. From there, each additional non-open adds 3 to 4 seconds, and it can get bad fast. Turk ended up getting a 48-second Hippo fight, 3 blocks and 3 opens. That's a solid fight given that blocks are much more likely than opens. But this combo of Dawn 1 and King Hippo was super punishing. You needed the frame perfect punch just so you could get a chance at Hippo's randomness. It was a terrible 1-2 combo, but on this run, Turk had made it through relatively unscathed. The next several fights featured a mix of tricky execution and harsh randomness. We're gonna get to most of these fights later. For now, it's important to know that Turk had a pretty clean run through most of the second half.
Yeah, I don't know
No
why in the
fight
world the
stuck
game
out
just
as
like
getting terrible luck.
died on me.
He made few, if any,
Well,
mistakes. Matt Turk had himself a very solid run going. Yet, none of this actually mattered.
Anywho,
Because there's a fight at the
just gonna have
very
to,
end of this game that makes the previous 13 seem
grinding.
completely irrelevant. I think you may have heard of him before. Mike Tyson regularly tops lists as the hardest final boss of all time. He's lightning quick, unpredictable, and can knock you down with one hit. Those who've tried know how hard it is to beat him. But speedrunners need to do more than just beat him. They need to do it in the first round. That's 3 knockdowns in under 3 minutes. It seems completely impossible, but there is one way to do it. We'll break the fight down into 3 phases, 1 per knockdown. In phase 1, Tyson throws uppercuts, and you can hit him twice after each one. By delaying your second punch to the last 60th of a second before he would block, this punch does 5 times the normal amount of damage. If you're a frame late, he blocks. If you're a frame early, you barely damage him. It has to be on this one magic frame. So in phase 1, you have to land frame perfect uppercut after frame perfect uppercut. You don't need to hit them all, but you need to hit a lot of them. In phase 2, Tyson starts by throwing more uppercuts, meaning you need more frame perfects. But at 1:30 on the clock, his pattern switches and he throws hooks. Here it's much easier. You just dodge and punch twice after each one. No need for anything frame perfect. After sending him down again, you enter phase 3, which is quite simple. Tyson only throws hooks, so you punch him down for the TKO. Phase 3 takes anywhere from 52 to 55 seconds depending on Tyson's pattern. So if your second knockdown is at 2:04 or lower, you've got a round 1 fight in the bag. The key to the fight is that you can damage Tyson much more during his uppercuts than his hooks. So the earlier you knock him down in phase 1, the more uppercuts he'll throw in phase 2 before 1:30, and the more damage you can deal. Generally, you need at least 4 phase 2 uppercuts, meaning a first knockdown of 109 or less. But you can get as many as 6 uppercuts with a knockdown under a minute. Of course, Tyson can randomly delay and screw everything up. Most notably, in phase 1, he can do the 8-second delay, where midway through the phase, he just stands still for 8 seconds. It happens 50% of the time, and while it doesn't completely kill a round 1 attempt, it can turn a solid phase 1 into an impossible one. Now, with perfect execution and a lucky pattern, it was possible to round 1 Tyson down in the 220s. However, these times were extremely rare and took hundreds of attempts from even a seasoned veteran. Getting a round 1 fight at all was unbelievably difficult, and when it happened, it was usually just before the end of the round in the 250s. Even Matt Turk couldn't always pull it off. Under optimal conditions, with nothing at stake and the pressure off, Turk could round 1 Tyson a bit over half the time. But at the end of a world record paced speedrun, with 13 fights behind you and just 1 to go, conditions are anything but optimal. Trying to land frame-perfect punches under this type of pressure is unimaginable. But if anyone could do it, it was Matt Turk. And he ended up finishing off this run with a Tyson fight of 250. He cleared round 1 with several seconds to spare. While we can't watch this run today, its legacy lives on. Like most things Matt Turk did, it was so far ahead of its time. A clean first 13 fights, and a round 1 Tyson at the end. Those two aspects combined made this run amazing. Shortly after this run, the original Punch-Out community started to die off. By 2010, Matt Turk stopped playing as well. So, with no competition left to lower them, all the world records remained stagnant, including Turk's full game speedrun. But then, in the late 2000s, there was a shift in the speedrunning community. Rather than being scattered across different websites like Game FAQs, speedrunners started to centralize at one website, Speed Demo Archive. For a few years, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out didn't have a submission on SDA. But in 2010, a new name popped up on the website.
I don't care. There's got to be at least one freaking thing that I don't need.
And unlike most before him, his main focus was completing the run of the full game. This runner's name was Sinister1.
Lugia and Hunter are gonna be the last two. Okay.
And began piecing together strategies for a full game speed.
So I'm not gonna. I'm not going to use either. Or blue.
So Sinister turned his focus to completing a segmented run. Punch-Out is naturally broken up into circuits every few fights, so Sinister grinded each of the 3 circuits individually, plus Tyson on his own, and submitted a 4-segment speedrun to Speed Demo's archive. This run clocked in at 16:31, nearly half a minute ahead of Turk. However, these runs really can't be compared. Sinister could optimize each circuit to a high degree, rather than having to get everything in one straight shot. Turk's 17 flat was definitely the more impressive speedrun. So, once Sinister kept practicing and getting better, he decided that it was time to take the training wheels off and complete a single segment run of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. The whole game in one segment, just like Matt Turk did. Sinister tried for weeks, and while he was able to get runs in the low 17s, he struggled to do better than Turk. The main problem was the combination of Dawn 1 and King Hippo. Dawn's frame-perfect start killed a lot of runs, and the few that made it through usually died to Hippo's randomness. It was so hard to get runs out of the early game, and although Sinister eventually got a 17:06, he was still behind Turk. His best efforts to get the world record had failed. So, Sinister gave up. Years passed, and Turk's 17 flat remained untouched. By February 2013, not much had changed. Matt Turk's 17 flat was still on top, and Sinister was right behind him. However, a new player was just starting to mess with running the game. And this guy had a pretty good track record. He was the world record holder in both Super Punch-Out and Punch-Out Wii. His name was Zallard1.
Who?
Right away, Zallard started looking for new strategies. Dawn 1's frame-perfect start was still brutal, and he wanted to find a way to make it more consistent. He ended up finding a timing cue that helped a little, but not much. And Sinister1 was not impressed by it. He told Zallard, "Come back to me when."
That's so funny that the Sinister one and Zallard one, like, bruh.
Times in a row. Otherwise, he wasn't interested. And with that, Sinister fired up a stream of Super Metroid. And what happened about an hour and a half later absolutely floored him.
Alright, let's check out this Zallard video. The Dawn Destroyer. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Dude, no way. This can't be real. Dude, this guy's a hacker. Hacker? Okay, I gotta try this. Alright guys, you might be about to witness the greatest thing of all time. Wow. Wow. I'm so astonished I had to get hit one time. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
In Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, if you hold down an input while something else is happening, the game will execute it on the first possible frame. So, by holding down different inputs consecutively, you can perform a series.
Don't tell me my freaking game breaking again! Dude! And it's always gotta do it right as I'm about to be done.
All over Super Punch-Out to get dizzy knockdowns, which is where Zallard originally got the idea. So, on Dawn 1, by buffering
what is going on?
Gut punch, a left dodge, a left quick dodge, then a left face punch, all in
Yeah, my game froze again. I can't.
On the exact frame where you can get the
Bro, I don't know why this keeps doing this. Like, what is going on?
Zallard also found that you could do something similar on Glass Joe.
Like, seriously, what the frick?
Punch and a series of gut punches, you can guarantee a 42 knockdown, no timing needed. The Dawn 1 buffer was.
Dude, this is so freaking annoying, dude, because I freaking have to keep
instead of
restarting my grind.
Sinister would never have to
Why did it have to do it at the very freaking end, dude? Seriously? The worst time for it to do it.
But Sinister was the one who could.
As if grinding for this game isn't long enough. It freaking keeps making me freaking reset. You know what? I'm doing rare candies. I don't care. I was gonna do this legit way, but it's gonna take forever if it's gonna keep crashing on me like this. So.
Over the following several fights, he was able to keep it close with Turk, bleeding time without falling too far behind. But Sinister knew there was one place he could make up a bunch of time. The penultimate fight in the game. Super Macho Man. Matt Turk's split here was a 118. This was a solid enough time back in 2008, but by 2013 the fight had evolved. In a worst case scenario fight, Sinister was looking at a 110 or so. Best case scenario, it could go under a minute. Macho's speedrun strategy looks ridiculous, with punches being snuck through his guard and stars thrown all over. But the fight largely comes down to one specific moment. If Macho's fourth punch is an uppercut, which is 5/8 likely, you'll get a good fight. If it's a hook, then it'll be a slower fight. Either way, as long as his execution was clean, he'd save big time over a 118.
That's a good start anyway. This is pretty good luck, you guys. Alright, 59.
It was exactly what he needed. In one fight, Sinister had shot himself into the lead, but his job was far from over. After all this, he still needed to round 1 Tyson in 254 or less. The pressure was on.
That's a good time.
Sinister had pulled it off. After carrying a lead into Tyson, he had nearly matched Turk's round 1 fight, clutching out a 251 to break the world record. This was the first sub-17 in the game's history, and while Sinister was elated, he knew there was still work to do. The Dawn 1 buffer had blown the door wide open, and a few of his fights had suboptimal luck and execution. So, Sinister decided to see if he could shave a few more seconds off. And just weeks later, he got on this run.
Cool. Yes. Oh boy. Alright, this is now serious.
I'll have Kenya and I just don't know what I would want my other Sekmon to be. Maybe Wheezing actually.
An enormous lead with 3
Because of
fights
explosion.
to go. Next up, Mr. Sandman.
Gotta take advantage.
Yeah, I'll have my Sekmon be Wheezing because I can
Sandman
run
has a
explosion
big
if I need
mix
to.
of RNG and execution. The hardest part in the fight is his Dreamland Express, where you must dodge 3 times
Save?
in rapid succession. You can counter him for massive damage afterwards, and by getting
Yeah, I mean, I've been
knocked
saving.
down at 159 or later, he'll do another Dreamland Express when you get up. So it's incredibly rewarding if you dodge the Dreamland Express correctly, but if you're too slow, you can't damage him enough after. Sandman also has 2 main pieces of randomness. When you knock him down the second time, there's a 20.
I didn't know that Weezy got Destiny Bond.
With a big health refill, which loses 10 seconds. And before his second Dreamland Express, there's a 50% chance he does a long delay, which loses.
All right, let's go ahead and do blue.
So that adds to 16 seconds of variation from RNG alone, plus tricky
Fine.
execution.
And pull up his team real quick.
Particular fight, Sinister ended up getting both the.
All right, so he's gonna lead with let's see here. He's gonna lead with Executor. I think no, he should have lead with Pidgeot, right? I'm 99% sure he's gonna lead with Pidgeot.
To nearly 28 seconds.
So far ahead.
So we want to have.
Sinister ended up getting the bad hook.
All right, do I have any leftovers?
Which costs 10 seconds. But heading into Tyson.
Okay,
Sinister
who has
still
leftovers?
had a mammoth 18-second lead.
You have leftovers,
Round
and
1 fight.
you have the
This would
pink
be
bow.
a massive world record.
Where's my other leftovers? Is it still on Wigglytuff?
Okay, he's gonna throw 5.
It should be on Wigglytuff.
Yes! World record.
Yeah.
There it is. I don't care that I lost time. Oh man.
These are some beautiful looking.
All right, let me see if there's any other Pokemon that have items that I care about.
And finish it off with
Crobat might have something worth.
That's a winning formula for
Thing.
Pokemon speedruns. The only path Sinister saw to beating this run was saving time at the end. 109 and 254 were good enough splits, but it was possible to gain a bit on each. He just needed to be within striking distance by the end.
I can sell my full restores and full heals and stuff. I don't need them anymore.
A few months later,
Or any of my
Sinister was
elixirs
in
or
a tough
anything
spot.
like that.
He'd made a 7-second mistake on Honda 2 and got awful luck to lose 16 seconds on Dawn 2. This was a big deficit, but he did have time to save.
Oh, you had the emulating point. Yeah, I also don't really need. I mean, I'm not gonna use it, but you know.
Yes.
Thing.
Yeah.
You probably have a Ross berry or something stupid like that. You have a berry juice. I don't care about that.
There'd never
Alright.
been a world record with a Tyson fight in the 240s. Sinister needed to break new ground.
New grounds. I'm just kidding. Okay, we're gonna give the leftovers to Snorlax. Is that really surprising?
Yeah, those Tyson fights
Alright.
in the 220s.
Now let's go
I
do
talked about
blue.
earlier, this is how you got them. A 57 phase 1. Unfortunately, phase 2 didn't go quite as well, but a 150 was still an incredible.
Alright, here we go.
pace.
Hopefully this doesn't go too
Now,
bad.
he had to
I doubt
finish
it will.
off and see what time he could get.
Yeah.
Hey, right on. Let's go out to.
Oh my god, I got that. I can't
Lobro.
believe it.
This was a legendary Tyson performance. With his back against the wall on world record pace, Sinister managed to go.
Executor, let's go out to
perfect hits
0.
in phase 1. The final result was a 2:43, an unheard of time for the end of a world record. As the congratulations poured in, Sinister debated if he should keep going.
Oh, nice
His
crit.
last 2 splits were really brutal.
Very nice crit.
He also had lowered the record pretty quickly. Maybe he wasn't at his full potential yet. Ultimately, Sinister decided to push onward. He wanted to get one more improvement before stopping. 5 weeks later, Sinister had another good one going. He was
Bro, how many freaking
tearing
full
through
restores
the
do you
world
have, bro?
scene. And once he finished off Sandman, he had amassed a lead of 19 seconds. But he knew what he was up against in his final 2 splits. And right on cue, Macho gave him the bad pattern. But he recovered nicely and was on his
Would I
way to
deposit?
still
Would I?
having a nice lead going into Tyson.
No.
I should have the Mystic Water, right? Okay, I do. I mean, I could probably still keep the leftovers a little slow, bro, but yeah, whatever. Okay. Well, we lost Firo. R.I.P. Not really. I don't care. I mean, he's literally been around the entire time, and I'm being completely heartless right now. But I just want to be done with this hardcore Nuzlocke, bro. Like legit. Okay. We need to get out Crobat. Let's go buy some vitamins, suckers. $81. Let me look at Lugia's stats actually. Lugia.
Sinister had actually brought this run back. He was guaranteed.
So we want to probably just give you
234 and 237.
such a special attack
Enough for a new world
or physical attack. Actually, I don't know what his final move is gonna be.
But there was something else Sinister.
Let me
frame perfect hooks.
Pause it, you. Let me get Lugia out. Let me get him to the level 81 so I can just see what the final like gonna be.
A total of 4 damage. But if you instead delay the first punch,
So I know what vitamins to get.
60th of a second possible, you'll throw a single punch that deals 5 damage. Theoretically, if you land 8 frame perfect hooks in a row, you can get a 37-second phase 3, a massive time save over normal. But going for frame perfect hooks is risky. They're harder than frame perfect uppercuts, since you can't easily establish a rhythm. Each frame perfect hook saves about 2 seconds, but each one you miss can cost up to 5.
Freaking headphone wires so annoying, bro.
Generally, hitting 4 hooks is enough to save you some time, while hitting 2 is enough to break even. But add in blocks, and your phase 3 time can spiral. So, it was decision time. Do you take the guaranteed small world record, or risk it to go for glory?
Going all out.
Bro, this freaking why? How is it like undoing itself so easily?
Couldn't get it. I couldn't get it, dude. I couldn't get it, man. I couldn't get any frame perfect hits. I was too nervous.
Had Sinister just played it safe, he'd be celebrating a new world record. But can you blame him for trying?
No.
That was a chance to demolish the record. He had missed on this occasion, but that was alright. Shake it off. Just get another run back to Tyson, and you'll get it next time.
Yeah. He won't. Yeah, I really have no idea.
You're kidding me, dude. You're kidding me. 8-second delay there. There he does the 8-second delay. Good game. Good game, Luck.
I'm going through my TMs one more time. Okay, do I want to teach him on toxic? I might teach toxic actually.
8-second delay killed it.
Or you know, I might teach it to Snorlax. Roll out.
What? 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 No, dude. You gotta be.
No, it's not worth the risk.
Oh, I can't.
Spicy win here.
That was gonna be a low 1 minute time, man. Look at his health.
Maybe teach it to.
That was
No.
Oh my
It's such a weak
man.
move, bro.
Come on.
But yeah, actually can learn Giga Drain. That might be worth it.
Dang, that's a pretty good.
If I teach a Giga Drain, I don't have to have it recover.
What? I got a PB. How does this happen?
I don't think Iron Tail's gonna help me against literally any
Discoverer
Pokemon.
Dawn 1 buffer became the second person to beat Turk and get a sub 17.
I'll teach you
was still
Psychic.
well behind the record, but Sinister needed an improvement. Even a small one would boost his morale. And finally, on March 26, 2014, he broke through.
I guess I'll also teach you Shadow Ball. I don't know. He doesn't have any ghost types, so there's not really.
Early and never relinquished it. He started with an excellent 41 on Hippo and got average luck on Sandman and Macho. His Tyson execution wasn't perfect, but a 105 knockdown meant he'd get 4 uppercuts in phase 2. He ended with a 251, enough to lower the record by 3.5 seconds. But Sinister's relief wouldn't last long, because Zallard 1 was flying down the leaderboard. And just days later, he finished off.
Yeah, I don't need Crobat in my party anymore.
Oh man, that's quite the PB. Dude, I got. Whoa.
The run had a notable mistake on Great Tiger. Tiger is one of the only fights in the game with no RNG. The execution consists of 4 gut punches that each have a 6-frame window. They're usually not too hard to hit, but when you miss one like Zallard did here, you earn a 54 instead of a 48. It was a 6.5 second mistake. Zallard missed the world record by 6.23 seconds. Had he not missed the gut punch, he would have dethroned Sinister and taken the top spot. These two guys were neck and neck. They had similar consistency overall, and could both reliably round 1 Tyson in the 240 to 250 range given no 8-second delay. But as similar as Zallard and Sinister's skills were, their ultimate goals were different. Zallard wanted to keep lowering his personal best and maybe snag the world record, while Sinister had even loftier goals. He wanted a single segment run that would beat his old segmented run, the 1631 from 2010. After all these years, it would be a remarkable achievement. So, each player had their own goals, and for the next few months in 2014, they both continued running the game, going up against brutal RNG and frame-perfect punches galore. But neither one was able to find success. Zallard couldn't catch Sinister, and Sinister couldn't catch his segmented run. So, Zallard moved on to other games, while Sinister went after Matt Turk's 213 Mike Tyson record. And all the while, the single segment record stayed put. But one random day in August 2014, Sinister decided he needed a break from the Tyson grind. So, just for fun, he did a one-off stream of single segment attempts. He hadn't played the category in months, and was fairly rusty. But you never know when all the luck will fall into place. A few fights in, he made it to King Hippo, who promptly opened his mouth 3 straight times. Unfortunately, Sinister was a bit late on the 3rd open, meaning he needed a 4th open to deal enough damage.
Yes.
What gender is the Snorlax?
But Hippo immediately gave it to him.
Male.
The odds in 4
And
straight
our
opens on Hippo
hunter
were
is
less than 1 in 50.
female. Okay, so actually,
Great, albeit
I think it actually is worth attracting.
After some clean execution on the next few fights, Sinister arrived at Soda Popinski. Soda is another super random one. He tends to team up with King Hippo to bury most promising runs. The fight revolves around the mechanic when Soda crouches down for his
So you got a very
uppercut.
trolly
If he
moveset,
presses
so
down on the D-pad while he's crouching, he'll stay frozen and you can punch him for a star.
Honestly, I don't think I even need to give you any vitamins, honestly.
No matter how much health he has,
because Snorlax literally cannot do anything to Hunter. The only thing I guess that might be worth it is getting him a few like irons and whatever the freaking else, whatever else the other one is. I don't know.
So you need a 75% chance pattern once per phase, working out to a 42% chance of getting a clean hookless fight. But he can also randomly delay before each uppercut, making each phase anywhere between 16 to 21 seconds. With the 3 fastest uppercuts, you'll get a 50-second fight, but with the 3 slowest ones, it'll be more like 102. To summarize, Soda will kill more than half your runs by throwing hooks, and for those he doesn't kill, he can delay to waste a bunch of time. Any fight under a minute is great, and on this run, Sinister found himself at 36 seconds with 1 phase left to go. This was a great pace, but he still needed 1 more uppercut.
Wow, dude. Oh my god, actually. Oh, wow. Okay, this is actually now officially, I think, the best pace I've ever been on in my life.
The pressure was on. On Bull 2, he missed a precise punch in the opening that cost 5 seconds. It was his second significant mistake of the run, but he was far enough ahead that it was okay. Down the stretch, Sinister was able to tighten up his execution. He played Sandman perfectly, getting the good refill but the long delay. Macho came through with the good uppercut pattern, and Sinister turned it into a solid 102.
Nice. Okay. Got him.
So, through it all, Sinister had built up a 20-second lead over his segmented run. He needed a 248 Tyson fight to get it done. But he'd been used to fighting Tyson in an individual level setting. That's very
now that we're into Lugia's final moveset, mostly special, somewhat physical, only for fly. I don't think I've ever used fly though. So let's just get like 10 calcium.
That was a horrible execution of phase 1. Pull it together, man. Pull it together.
Yeah, it
Alright, for
wasn't
Snorlax,
great, but 108 was still doable. Sinister got his
let's
4
get
uppercuts in phase 2 and landed
just like
a 157
4 proteins, I guess.
Playing it safe here wouldn't cut it. Sinister needed to land at least 4 frame perfect hooks to get this. He had come all this way, gotten amazing luck.
Okay, next is
and it would all be for nothing.
Ilk, you're good.
Right now.
Well, bro, the only thing worth giving you, honestly, is probably HP. 2 HPs and 2 calciums.
Is that it? I got it. I did it, dude. I think that's it. I think that's
All right.
Oh my god, is this? Hold on.
I guess the only thing else I'd really is just Carbos. I'll spend the rest of my money on Carbos, I guess.
4 years ago, Sinister's best efforts at a segmented run yielded a 1631. Now, he could beat that with a straight shot through the game. This was a pretty lucky run, as Sinister made multiple mistakes that could have killed it. Even though he was rusty, he still
okay, I'll give
where it mattered most, right at the
do
end.
the last Carbos, I guess. All right,
Sinister was more than
let's go take on Red and be done with this hardcore Nuzlocke.
Elsewhere. Now, it was Zallard's turn to focus on single segments. With this new record, the difference between his run and the world record had doubled. Unless he could take 12 seconds off his PB, Zallard couldn't move out of second place. He'd be competing against.
And then once we get to Red, we'll figure out the items. I gotta practice. So
and a solid final 3 splits to finish it off. But still, that fall, Zallard started up runs again. Even if he wasn't directly going for the world record, maybe he could shave a bit of time off his 1639.
I was literally just about to use the max spell too.
Come on, Tyson. Just round one. That's all I need. Just a round one fight. I can't do anything about that. I just can't.
Alright, it all comes down to this.
This is in danger, real bad. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it, guys.
I don't know what to use my PP up on. I guess just rest. I don't know. Like, I literally...
I don't even know what that is. I don't even know.
So you have the pink bow. You should have the leftovers, right?
He's got a 27.
You should have the quick claw. You should have the leftovers as well.
Rushing PB. In phase 1,
Okay.
Zallard
It just leaves us with
quite
Lugia
well.
and
He got the 8-second delay, but still turned it into a respectable
Haunter.
108. But phase 2 was his downfall, with 2 blocks and several other missed punches. Because of the pace going into Tyson,
We have
it was
grass
still a massive
flying.
PB. But
Yes,
this
sir.
block was
I could give you the
practically
Mystic
impossible
Water, I
to
guess.
see again. He got a 37 hippo.
And then
a
for
perfect
you, I
fight,
freaking have no
along
idea,
with a
man.
good enough soda and an incredible Sandman and Macho.
I guess I
Zallard's
could just
only
give you
hope
the
to PB
purse
from
cure
here
bury.
was to take time on a relatively soft
Nothing else to give you.
255
Alright,
Tyson's
here we go. Do this red fight.
news was that he nearly caught up to
Do this
Simpson.
red fight, suckos.
He kept playing over the next few
Go back, you're
weeks,
ruining my
not
life.
making much
Alright, I'm gonna
progress.
slow down the game just a
But by
little. Oh shoot.
mid-November,
I'm gonna slow down
Zallard would
the
get
game just a
another chance.
little bit. A bit more dramatic.
It
Okay, we
wasn't
should
a
outspeed.
super inspiring run at
Okay.
first. He bled time over his 37 hippo split and got bad luck on Dawn 2 to lose some more. But he was
Can't believe
able
I
to
outspeed the
keep
Espeon,
pace with
honestly.
his strong final 3. First getting the good refill and delay on Sandman, then the good pattern on Macho. It wasn't amazing, but heading into Tyson, he had a chance. Zallard needed a 241 on Mike Tyson. Near perfect. Zallard was easily on pace to get this.
Could you imagine if I did fully
But
paralyze it
phase
there?
2 was a bit
That
more
would've been fun.
dicey. He missed 2 of Tyson's uppercuts and missed all of the hooks. Now, he couldn't play it safe. He had to hit at least a couple of these.
Yo, this is kind of sad to watch. But hey, I was still within the level cap. I mean, I don't know what you want to tell me, but I was in the level cap. There we go, GG. I can now officially say that I've beaten a legit hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Gold and Silver. We are done. Next stream is Ruby and Sapphire, man. Next stream is Ruby and Sapphire. Oh man, so glad we're done with that game, bro. Not because I hated it. I enjoyed the Nuzlocke, but man, that last part was just like took a lot out of me. It took me 3 hours and 15 minutes to do the post game, not counting stupid like lag or whatever. A little over 3 hours to do the post game for hardcore Nuzlocke. It wasn't too bad. I actually really enjoyed building a team from scratch. That was a really fun like side quest like thing. But all right, I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said, next game and series for the hardcore Nuzlocke series is Ruby and Sapphire. So I'll see you guys there. Have a good day, everyone.